Easy. Easy go. How you doing, buddy? You enjoying your new bone? Oh my god. You like your new bone? Oh! Ooh, bouncy, bouncy. Bouncy boy. Bouncy boy. Bounce. Bounce. Bounce, bouncy. Silly thing. Oh my goodness. Oh man. I'm so glad I replaced the chair. Oh, about the time I finally did that. It even feels better to sit in. Okay. A chili. Bing, bada boom, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada da 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 da, bada bada da da. Zucker. What you do, baby? What you doing, baby boy? Psycho Doge. See a little Doge. Enjoying his little bone. So cute. So cute. I think I missed something. Oh, I forgot to grab some from the store. Fuck. Now that I'm realizing it. Oh. Well, shit. I was walking home like, I feel like there's something I'm kind of forgetting about here a little bit. And I remembered. Oh. Well, shit. What? since we're not really starting off too much. In fact, I'll probably just do that here real quick. Probably won't end the session unless I could probably come back with it. Come back in meantime, actually. Little sweet Zukoff, oh my goodness, sweet baby boy. Oh, you're just a little sweet thing, aren't you? Yeah? Oh my god, this sure is so much better. Oh, look at Sora. Look at you. You're so cute. Stop being so damn cute. It's ridiculous, unacceptable, very disapprovable. Like, come on, dude. You know better. You know better, Zukoff. I mean, I guess you really don't. Who am I kidding, Zukoff? He definitely ain't gonna get it. He's just gonna be one of those crazy sons of bitches. Crazy little son of a bitch. Ugh, but anyway, definitely have some fun stuff to get into in the near future, y'all. But let's kind of give it a bit. First, actually, I'll do this, you know. Took off. Okay. Open that up. Bada bing, bada boom. Here, I'll close up my sober tea. There we go. Right there. Oh, sweet little Zukoff. Do this real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. I should have done this before I started, but too late now. Sun calls foul, seeing it now. Guess I call messages, yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, cool. Alright, what was this whole thing on my first message? I actually want to pull this up here, y'all. Estimated 15,000 housing units in Portland have unsafe lead levels. Aye. Well, that's definitely something to pop up here. For a little bit. And do this here to y'all. Two of them. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, actually, do this. You know, we got one more thing. Oh my god, sometimes texting messages is a very long process. I don't know how people can be just like fucking Speedy McGee this shit. There we go. Me and my fat fingers can't type as fast as you youngsters. I'm so with it. Yeah. Anyway, get some background stuff here. Instead of Zukov going fucking nuts over his damn bone. My anti-vax coworker is out for a third week in a row of COVID. I feel so owned right now. Jesus, dude. Oof. Man, that sucks. I mean, not so much for the coworker. I little low-key couldn't really give a fuck about that guy. But, I mean, I feel bad for you at least. Oh, I don't know how much you were tuning into that little, like, Mayday thing. That little meeting that happened, but I was kind of wondering what you kind of overall thought about it. I kind of missed a little bit of the first part of it, but tuned in for the rest of it. Or at least most of it. I actually thought overall, all in all, it was actually pretty productive. At least like in the general chat, where a lot of other people were talking while it was going on, I was getting some more people kind of informed on mostly like labor songwriting, labor music history and stuff, being like, hey, go grab a Little Red Songbook and shit if anyone's a musician. Pussy guy gets OT, so balance is restored to the universe. Balance has been restored to the universe. One red flag was that one quote I texted you. Yeah, which it seems like that one guy just, it didn't sound like he was confident in much. I mean, so, aside from that though, from what I was listening from everybody else, it sounded like it was pretty good shit, so. I'm liking it. All in all, like, it seemed like what happened earlier today with all that shit that was going on, which at least from stream-wise, I'll, you know, get context for that, but it seemed like it was a little bit more somewhat blown out of proportion, but it was just mostly because of the mods on one subreddit, but basically it's just like generic Redditor who's a moderator for a subreddit fucking acts like a Redditor. It's like, okay. I mean, you know, honestly, all in all, it isn't necessarily, like, too off par of the course. The one to do it, not so much, and the second do was difficult to understand. I think I know what you're talking about, like, Crumpungton or something like that. Honestly, in the general chat, if you go in there and see what he like, types out and stuff, the dude's pretty based. The dude's actually really awesome. But I think that might be the guy you might be talking about. Crumpungton or something like that. I don't know their names. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of, you know, getting myself a little bit, you know, oriented and kind of settled in a little bit here and there. Not like super active in it, but at least, you know, enough to where they're starting to recognize me, like, oh yeah, what's up, you know. So, but all in all, that's, you know, like, you know, fine by me, because if anything, like, just the more help the better, like, you know, especially, you know, if I can help out, or the other way around, where, you know, if there's other means of where, you know, the influence of, you know, what they're trying to do can help spread, you know, to what we're doing. So, I mean, there's different possibilities that, you know, could kind of come out from that. I mean, either way, I feel like it is positive. I'm definitely not under any impression that's going to be like, you know, some big, mass successful thing right off the bat. But, you know, I am definitely optimistic considering that there are a lot of people who are legitimately, like, you know, enacting practice and actually going out of their way to walk the walk as much as talk it, and actually be fucking serious with it. And in fact, there was one person who was chatting in the Discord that's saying the time for complaining and debating's been long over. you know, he just kind of said as simple as that. I'm like, you know, honestly, all in all, yeah, I don't really necessarily disagree. I mean, I'm not like anti-debate bro or whatever the fuck, but like when it comes down to it, like, I mean, like we just endlessly, you know, debate, whine, and bitch, or you know, we actually do fucking something at some point. You know, because if she just continuously bitch and whine and debate, or, you know, all this other shit, but not actually go forth and, you know, with advocating or just pushing these solutions or possible solutions, what the fuck you doing? I mean, at that point, you're just sniffing your own farts. So, I mean, I definitely like that there's a lot of people out there, from the looks of it, who are actually being legitimately serious with this stuff. You know, so it's, you know, it's definitely putting a smile on my face. I ain't the only one that's thinking, like, hey, these, like, terminally online lefties and shit need to touch grass and actually fucking start doing shit for once. And it's like, oh, yeah. I think that's starting to become more of an apparent mentality about things. So, all in all, I'm okay with that. And I was also listening into the patrons' Deep Fat Fried on Onion Nuggets today, and I found out that the Alabama has had their right now their longest strike in Alabama history, with the Alabama coal miners going 10 months strong now. And basically been saying that, like, there's been a lot of assistance union-wise and even community-wise with trying to help out a lot of these strikers, and there's been a lot of, like, valleys and peaks from what I understand with what's been going on. And there's also, from what I understand, also been violence on these strike lines. And honestly, from what I'm hearing, it just sounds like details, you know, described to me in the Harlan County USA documentary that's on YouTube. Like, seeing some of that and hearing some of the shit, you know, or reading some of the stuff described, it's like, is this the 70s? It's like, wait, is this like the Harlan County strikes that are being described, or is this like Alabama? Like, what? I mean, it's like the more things change, the more they legit stay the fucking same. Like the tactics of having hired gun thugs or just armed thugs in general coming in to, you know, break pickets apart and strikers, so scabs can go through. You know, because sometimes the cops, you know, might be there for the first few times, but eventually they're gonna think it's a waste of their time and move on. You know, so the cops won't be there forever for the scabs or the company, unless things get a little too violent. But you know, they'll be there for maybe the first couple times, and then they'll bug off and go annoy other people. You know, again, unless shit escalates. But if it ends up being like, oh, you know, there was like a scruff between the scabs and the workers, you know, like, cops ain't gonna go in there. Yeah, they ain't gonna go bother with that shit. If anything, they're gonna think, oh, well, maybe the scabs are doing their job for us, okay. And that's where those fucking hired thugs come in, because they act as private police. So, I mean, all in all, more things change, they really do stay the same. But all in all, I mean, it's actually fucking impressive to me that's, you know, been going on for so long. Like, it's like it really does seem like that whenever these labor movements happen in this country, when they do have their rises, it really does seem like it's always on the back of the miners. Like, seriously, because like they usually are the ones that have like some of the longest strikes, some of the more boisterous, vigorous ones and shit out, you know, that could last quite a while. Like, you'll get, you know, these other strikes that might last like a month or a couple weeks or even a few days. you know, for the UFCW 555 one with Kroger and shit, that lasted 2 hours, not 2 hours, 2 days and 48 hours. So it's like, sometimes it doesn't necessarily last too long. But a lot of these ones, when it comes to like the more heavy, drudgerous type of things, like mining and shit, they last a while. Usually those ones kind of start near the beginnings of these rises, and they usually are the ones at the very end, once, you know, kind of the rise of it, you know, dips off. And they're still sticking around. Which, nonetheless, it's like, I mean, it does suck that they have to be, you know, out there for so fucking long, but, I mean, it really does show, like, what it takes, and, I mean, it shows that you really don't need those fucking bosses. Because if these people are able to still, you know, do what they can and manage and, you know, and still be able to survive and live and be out there on the fucking strike line for 10 months straight, I mean, then it shows that they, you know, at least got something for themselves that doesn't require those fucking bosses. Because it never did. So it was a guff. See a little boy. I want this real quick. Very earthy taste. Like, that straight is earth. The flavor of earth is in my mouth right now. I got high off of it. I mean, it's still weed, I guess. There we go. Oh, here. What am I cooking on? Where is it? Nope. Why is they too slow now? What in the... Hold on. What? Why? Is the Bluetooth... Oh. My headphones are for some reason still connected. The fuck? I was like, where's the tunes? It's like I was playing some background music. I was like, where is it? There it is. Anyway. I was trying to find something here real quick. There's like another little interesting bit of news I found. And oh yeah, here it is. Looks like Nina Turner's running again for Congress against Shontel Brown, so there's going to be a rematch of that shit. Nina, don't back down. I like that about her. I'll give her that. She's pretty adamant at being like, hey, libs, fuck you. Keep knocking me down, I'm just going to go right back up again. I guess it's better than nothing. I'm not doing anything again, though. I mean, honestly, like, this is honestly why I do like her and respect her, though, because she doesn't back down. Like, she just straight up does not fucking back down. Like, and that's honestly what we kind of need out of somebody right now, is, you know, even though she's, you know, been heavily, you know, have the entire system basically bumped against her and shit, you know, and looks at that and it's like, nah, I'm still gonna fucking challenge it and bump up against it, fuck you. Even if I, you know, like, even, you know, figuratively speaking, die trying, so to speak, you know what I mean? So, I mean, she's, you know, somebody that kind of doesn't give a shit. If anything, she kind of takes the FDR approach of welcoming their hatred. So, I mean, I could give her that, and honestly, it's why I like her. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything, you know, myself, honestly, but I do want to see her win. During good cancer, so not terrible, bad insight, less bad. Oh, Casey Cola. Oh, for Oregon governor. It's basically like Oregon governors is like nothing good. Great. Chances are that Kate Proud might get reelected. Kate Brown can't run. Oh, she can? Oh. Well, good. Okay, I actually didn't. I actually didn't know that. But hey, nice. She sucks anyway. Organized term limits. Oh my god, I forgot about that. You're right. Oh. It's one of the few legit good things about Oregon. Here are the declared candidates. Oh, Ballotpedia. Michael Trimble. What the fuck? This guy, like... Bruh, this dude's ears are where his chin starts. Like his ears form where his jawline, like, ends. How are they, like, they're legit, like, a full set of ears lower than where they should be? What the fuck? How does he wear glasses? How does he... Oh my god. Okay. Where are they? Show me. Where are they? Where are you in here? Okay, here we are. Wilson Bright, Peter Hall, Tina Kotek, Casey Kula, Tobias Reed, Michael Trimble, Patrick Starnes. Tina Kotek, who, she kind of, you know, seems interesting here. What's going on? What's going on here? Trimble is weird as fuck. I know, dude. I don't know what, dude. His ears are straight up like a straight full set of ears, like lower than it's. Dude, I don't know what's going on with him, bro. That's the less shitty Kate Brown. Yeah, I'm trying to read on some of it. She's just kind of. I kind of looked at her and I'm like, why does she look like fucking what? Why am I blanking on his name? The CNN guy. Why am I blanking on his name? What the fuck? Anderson Cooper. Oh my god. Right? Yeah, it's Anderson Cooper, isn't it? I need to make sure. Oh my god, Yep, it is. Okay. Just want to make sure. Tribble supports organ health plan for all as in those making under $96,000. Well, I guess that's not bad. I wish I was better, but that's not necessarily like terrible or really, you know, overtly bad. It's like, okay, I mean, it's like you got something that's good, but you could expand that a little to maybe like I don't know, like 100K or just everybody, period. It's like close but no cigarillo. It's like, really? Really? It's like, come on, Trimble. Boo. Trimble has a based housing policy. Really? Okay. I'm feeling bad for kind of poking a little bit at Trimble with his weird thing with his ears, but honestly, like, you know, alright, cool, I'm down with it. Good old stretch. Property owner does not have the inherent right to sit on a vacant property and do absolutely nothing with it. If a property owner chooses this route, that property should be seized and put to housing Oregonians. Based beyond recognition, yeah. That beast based beyond recognition, yeah. Oh, based. That be based. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pull up this like into work Reddit thing here real quick. Put that off to the side. Check that out in a second here, y'all. Because skeptical on Trimble's other policies, his healthcare policy seems poorly thought out and required by and like the Congress to cooperate. Yeah, probably because of like investments and budgeting and shit like that. You know, will probably play a role into it. I mean, honestly, which it fucking sucks, but it's just why, you know, the whole fucking nationalized self-care, you know, needs to be just such a major, you know, priority moving forward when it comes to, like, an actual thing that, you know, can be pushed on a national stage, you know, that could get done by, you know, these supposed, you know, Democrats and shit. It's in progressives, but I mean, their purpose is to, you know, specifically stymie this shit, so of course they're not going to be in favor of it. They're not going to like it at all. No, no, no. I was going to delve a little more into that, like, anti-work subreddit shit a little bit, but honestly, it's just like, there's just, like, especially on the mainstream media, a very strong sentiment of just, I mean, not really anti-work, but anti-worker, like, in a sense, because, like, Scarborough, like, I remember he made, like, some fucking, you know, quip about, like, oh, teachers need to just, like, grow up and, you know, just, like, actually, you know, go in a dangerous way and shit when it comes to COVID and just go back to the schools and whatever, instead of, you know, doing more at-home learning and shit. On top of that, then there's, Scarborough saying, like, why is Biden so far left? And it's like, since when Joe Scarborough become, like, Fox News Light? Isn't he supposed to be, like, the Democrat, like, sycophant here? If we have accessible health care and reform property rights, we might realize we've been fucked hard for the last 50 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's the epitome of self-care. Well, actually, there's a lot of fucking drama and shit that happened today about it that I kind of was watching as it happened and, like, was checking out a little bit, because I'm part of this Discord / subreddit group called the Mayday General Strikes, or the Mayday Strikes, which are this group that's trying to organize general strike moving forward with May 1st and with May Day. Oh, well, what happened? Well, you tuned in at the perfect time, because we're about to get into it. Because there was one of the mods from the anti-work subreddit got an offer to go get an interview on Fox News about the subreddit, what they're about, and they asked up the subreddit, like, okay, hey, what, should I do anything, or, like, what should I do with this? Should I accept it? And there was even a poll about it, and essentially it was a unanimous agreement that this person should not fucking do it, and should decline it, and just say no. And basically, this person did it anyway, and basically made themselves look like an idiot, and basically made the entire idea of, like, the anti-work subreddit / the idea of anti-work look like essentially the stereotypical Redditor mod, if you didn't know what that looks like in your head. Because it's just, it's a major oof. Because this person was basically propped up on there to be gawked at by Fox News and shit, while ostensibly looking like, oh, we're curious about what you're about. Wink. Exactly what Fox News wanted. Exactly. And because of that, a lot of people got very pissed off at the anti-work subreddit for being like, yo, you kind of misrepresented us and you kind of fucked up. What? And the entire subreddit got privated, and essentially the mods, like, just kind of got ousted a little bit, by their own community as, like, just one, for just misrepresenting what they're doing, two, not really actually, like, doing any organization, too, as well, on top, when it comes to, like, trying to advocate action and stuff, because the Mayday Strike subreddit formed on top of this, overall movement because of things like this. On top of just the Striketobers, the rise of labor militancy, amongst other things, but that was another one of it. It's like, it was just people posting, like, yeah, I quit my job because it sucks, and this and that, yeah, which is not bad, yeah, obviously. I mean, seeing the endless cases of, work just being consistently fucked, like, and exploitative the way it is, and showing that, in the limelight is why it exists, for sure. but a part of it should also be about how we organize to fight back against that too. Like that should also be, you know, the second priority, you know, when it comes to it, and it just really wasn't. So the mods basically just like, you know, it didn't really like take, you know, anything like that to account, and it was just doing shit on their own for their own personal reasons, and basically had like a fracturing and splintering within the subreddit and within a lot of different, you know, like anti-work / Mayday like strike organizers when it comes to this type of stuff. Because there's because on the Discord, which I think it's called, let me try to find it. What's the name of it again? Mayday Strike. So that's just the name of it, and they had like a little meeting earlier today. That's actually a transcript, so it's, you know, eventually it's going to be publicly available from what I understand. But it was kind of talking a little bit about this, on top of, you know, some other things as well. But all in all, ended up being actually very productive, because a lot of it was just like, yeah, I mean, we can't have people just like fuck off and just do shit like that for their own personal aggrandizements and their own personal means and shit, especially when most people are saying that's a bad idea. Like, I mean, you know, if it's a neutral position amongst people, then it probably wouldn't have been a big deal, but it really was, considering that, yeah, especially when you got Fox News trying to hit you up about it, yeah, they're probably trying to put you there for a purpose, and not so they can uplift your positions. Now, if you're smart about it and you know what the fuck you're doing, then it could be a very ripe opportunity, but chances are then they probably just won't even air the segment at that point, because they don't want people challenging their shit. They want an easy, fun thing to gawk at. How does someone was smart enough to realize you have lessons to Sony Nightmare Factory and mod a community like r/anti-work and not realize that he was being manipulated before anti-left caps propaganda went out? I honestly, I guess gullibility, probably not as adverse about like this type of shit. I mean, I don't know, like I really couldn't tell you all the specifics about it. I want to do a stream point out this shit. Yeah, I mean, once I get like my PC shit set up, I want to do like a little like video essays, not like very long ones, but you know, maybe like little 30-minute ones or something like that, kind of going in different specific little things about like when it comes to labor and unionization and shit like that. And this type of stuff would definitely be its own little video, like when it comes to, you know, hey, when it comes to like the optics of putting your message out there, and when people offer up like, hey, come on our show, or this and that, or all this other stuff, like it's not simple being like, all right, yeah, let me just push my ideas out there and boom. Like, I mean, you kind of need to know a little bit about the social zeitgeist, especially on the platform that you're going on. Like, like if Jesse Lee Peterson, for example, hit me up being like, hey, you want to come on my show? I'd probably say yes for the memes, but like to actually get my shit out there, I'd say no. But for the memes and entertainment, I'd say yes. But because just for sheer amusement value, I'd do it. But that'd be it for amusement. It wouldn't be for anything serious. But you know, same thing would be like if it was like Dave Rubin or fucking Ben Shapiro or whoever the fuck else. Like they were like, hey, would you want to come on my show and blah blah blah. I'd be like, no. I mean, not because I want to know what I'm talking about and shit, but because, like, when it comes to dealing with them, like, face-to-face, it's one thing, you know, break it down a video of their shit, but then, you know, it's one thing to actually talk to them face-to-face, or, you know, actually have a conversation with them, even if it's, like, you know, over a video camera or whatever. Or find out talking news or philosophical, I think I have something Coach Smart say, make a 10-30-minute video essay about. Yeah, I want to eventually get into that. But in the meantime, I just gotta fuck around and do these. I mean, this element of things wouldn't change either way. For the memes, Ignar should go into the Shapiro zone. Well, before anything like that comes close, we're actually gonna delve into this little thing about this whole anti-work subreddit shit. At least the fucking video that kind of stirred this shit up in the first place. And also, from what I understand, like, the person that came up on this interview is named, like, Doreen, I think, or Dory. And apparently, there's been some Facebook posts of this person that's came up. And there's also another post from I think a nonprofit organization that says that has mentioned like, yeah, we have gotten rid of people that have been harmful or negative in the past, and this person's name came up, and for some kind of fucked up shit, you know, if it rings true. So it's like, this person is literally the perfect example of like the worst person you want up talking about this shit, because apparently like there is some sexual misconduct shit, apparently, from my understanding. From the posts, from what I've seen, it's like, oh, that's a little odd. I mean, considering also it hasn't really been like, you know, like, just considering that it's like, hey, you got like this weird little, like, you know, if you're gonna be like a mod or like a leader or putting yourself out there like this, you'd probably want to make sure that you don't have baggage like that, or if you do know how to address it if it pops up, because
I haven't talked a lot about the Angel Reddit is because
okay, what the fuck is Hassan wearing? Hold on, what the fuck is he wearing? What is this? Like, I wish I had something to like really emphasize what he's wearing there. What is this like leopard pinstripe shit that he's got going on there? Is that Betty White and Obama in the background? What is going on here, my dude? What is happening? He's going like fucking like caveman trucker drip or something. Like what? Like, is he like a 70s porn director or something? What is happening here? Like, what is Hassan wearing? What the fuck? What in the, like, what is he wearing? What the fuck? Patrick Starnes has a base proposal to extend PERS to all Oregonians. Starnes actually seems pretty good. Campaign finance reform, OHP for all, PERS for all, wildlife prevention. Oh, wildfire prevention. I was like, wait, what? That's wildfire prevention. Nice. Well, I like that. Sounds like some good shit.
like, I think there's like a lot of real people on there that are like actually upset and jaded and pissed, or you know, just like sad about the state of affairs, right? And then there are a lot of people who just lie for karma. It's like a good way to karma farm.
Karma farm.
Lie and all this shit.
What does Reddit karma even do for you anyway? I've noticed that. I'm like, what is this and why do I care?
There's a lot of crusty anarchists on there who think they can do like, you know, general strikes.
Hey. What do you got against this crusty anarchists, bro?
But ultimately, I think their heart's in the right place, you know? It's okay.
Call me crusty anarchist, you bastard.
The state of affairs. How Occupy Wall Street is this all turning out? Yeah, it's just, like, anarchists don't operate like fucking CIA challenge, impossible difficulty. Every fucking day, we stray further away from the Lord's good light. I swear to God, I'm sorry.
I don't even think that's even, like, meritable anymore. Because whatever light of God, whatever the light of the Lord shines, that stopped shining on us generations ago. That stopped shining a long time ago, bro. It's like that has been shining for decades.
I'm gonna say, first and foremost,
centuries even.
So they're gonna shit on this person, okay? And it's clear that like Cringetopia shit all over this person.
I love you, chat.
But what's ironic is that, like, I guess this once again reveals that Redditors hate the world, but the one thing that they hate more than anything else is other Redditors, is themselves, okay? Because let's keep it fucking real. Like, everybody writing, everybody sending awards to this fucking, everybody beaking this. This video, everybody juicing this. Like, what, you look different?
It's a damn video.
I mean, I personally work. I have like a 20-25 hour work week, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
Yeah,
wow, such hard, grueling work. And you do that for 20 to 25, like, yeah, what a great representation for the anti-work subreddit. Like, get someone like me, I'd fucking be a good representation, goddammit. Like, I'm not even kidding. 20 to 25 hours and wants less hours for being a dog walker. Like, bro. Like, my dude. Work my, you probably, they probably, I actually don't know what, from my understanding, I think they're like she, her, they, them, but it's like, yo, you gotta like, you know, do you know, like, you know, how heavily exploited, I mean, you obviously do. I mean, you're a mod for the anti-work subreddit, but do you think going out like that was a good idea? Seriously? Because even I look at that and I want to mock you. In fact, I am. Because it's like, it's almost like a little bit like, kind of insulting to people like us, too. Who are really, you know, fucking working legit grudgeless shit. I mean, not like dog walking, it's like a walk in a park, no pun intended. But it's not like fucking running, you know, like operating a grocery store or a fucking fast food joint or steel mill or anything like that. Working at a Walmart or anything. Or working at an Amazon fulfillment center. Fulfillment center. Like, definitely ain't like that whatsoever. I mean, it's like, what, like, they could have, like, been like, hey, maybe we can have, you know, someone speak, you know, in favor, like, of the anti-work Reddit that isn't a mob, but we could find somebody, or, like, vet someone. Be like, hey, here's somebody that worked for, like, Amazon for, like, 6 months, and now works, like, 2 jobs at Starbucks and McDonald's, and blah, 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 and, like, I mean, he could have gotten someone who actually, you know, could be a good representation, or at least even, you know, speak out, you know, in, favor of that position and as a voice for that position. But it's like, no. You immediately go to like the most like mockingly style take that you possibly could use. It's like, yeah, I walk dogs. It's like, yeah, I do too. I do it on my own for free because of my own dog. I mean, so it's just like, yeah, it's not, yeah, is it easy? Not necessarily, but it's way fucking easier than the thing I do to get paid.
Doesn't work 25 hours a week. Like, Jesse Waters does not work 25.
I mean, honestly, like, shit, I wish I was getting paid, you know, the wages I was making at my shit with the hours that I do. It would, the same as hours, same way, everything, walking dogs. It actually would legitimately be easier. And I would actually, and if anything, I'd probably legit enjoy it far more.
Doing anything that is, like, as physically grueling as dog walking, okay? In comparison to what Jesse Waters does, which is sit in front of a camera and you know, look like the guy who was the dumbass on every, like, 90s comedy in high school that, you know, he was the football player in every fucking 90s comedy, and that's his purpose. His purpose is to fill that void, to fill that role in an audience that is comprised of, like, 80-year-olds. So the last thing they remember is like a 90s comedy they watch. So that's like Jesse Waters' job.
And he does it really well with this, because when you have someone who doesn't do a good job at representing the whole like anti-work position in general, when it comes to like from a labor perspective, because just labor and the labor movement in general has always been an anti-work mentality and an anti-work type of idea and philosophy. So it's just like, I mean, like to just go out there like this is not the way to do it. And honestly, that's why there was such like a what the fuck about it, because a lot of the people on the subreddit and just people I think in general understand this type of shit when it comes to like labor. You can't just go out there and just like boast about it, you know, hoping that, you know, like fucking people like just get on board with it. I mean, it's not as easy as that. Like, I mean, there's a whole like marketing aspect when it comes to this shit, when it comes to ideas and philosophy. I mean, there always is. I mean, you can't just sell, like, unions and labor and, you know, like Marxian-style labor praxis and shit like that to, like, some bumblefuck from Alabama, you know, working some coal mines, but nonetheless, they will agree with it like they have been for 10 months straight and shit, you know, if pitched to the right way and marketed to them, you know, correctly and shit. And for them, at least, it's already been like that because it was already in place, hence why they're doing it. I mean, they didn't need convincing. They were already convinced. So it's just like, I mean, at least to a certain degree. So it's like, I mean, it's how you market this type of shit to these people. And when it comes down to your general work and the work that you do and for your wages and shit, that's convincible to anybody if you market it right and, you know, tell it to the right person. Because I think anyone who has, you know, worked any type of job and worked any type of labor in their life, you know, can get that. I mean, they might not get it from the straight up, like, you know, Marxian style, like, you know, theory of it, but, you know, they can get it from another way.
Look like the fucking jock from the last thing that his audience can remember. The last time their brains could form new memories. So, let's continue.
If you don't mind me asking.
Also, if you're an anarchist, you're not media trained. If you're on Reddit, don't go on Fox News. They will eat you alive.
Yeah. Yep. Like, this is why even there was a poll before this person went on here and before this shit got, like, set in motion, you know, where most people were like, don't do this. And there's good fucking reason for it. And it's because, especially whoever, Dory or Dorian or whoever this person is specifically, they are not savvy in this shit at all. I mean, I'm not, so, I mean, you know, I'm not saying I could go up there and do it any better. I mean, I probably could do it better, but marginally, you know, like, I mean, because, you know, it takes, like, a certain charisma to fucking go out there and talk, you know, on a platform where millions, probably, of people are watching you, either then or later. It's like, I suppose it's kind of the same mentality with something like this, but I guess you're more obscure. More obscured with it, so more of a comfortability with it, I suppose. But nonetheless, it's just like, when it comes to this, like, hey, you know, you got, like, even if it's not Fox, even if it's, like, you know, kind of a more, like, you know, more pro-labor positioned platform, like, more Perfect Union or some shit. It's just like, you know, you can go up and, you know, just say it how you know, how it is to you, but, you know, it might not necessarily, you know, sell too well regardless, and would have to be probably further explained by the people that host that platform, you know, either way, to help, you know, bring further detail to that, you know, position that you might hold, because you might not be as savvy with these type of things, but which is fine. Majority of people aren't. Like, it definitely takes, like, a type of charisma to just go out and just, you know, just kind of wing it and just, you know, hit it good. And there's people that are good with it, but, I mean, you know, you can't just go out there and expect, like, oh, yeah, people are gonna, you know, went up to me just going out there, you know, saying your piece and shit. You have to, you know, best market those type of ideas, you know, to try to maximize the type of audience, at least, you know, given the platform you're on. But especially if you're on Fox and shit, saying that, oh, you know, I do 20-25 hours dog walking and stuff, ain't gonna sell fucking nobody. Just straight up, period. That might, you know, like, sell maybe, like the fucking kid that happens to be watching her dad watching Fox News or some shit, but it ain't gonna sell the guy actually watching Fox News. So, it's like, you gotta sell it in a different way. In a way that they would actually understand and probably get. But then, that segment probably wouldn't have been aired. So, none of this would happen in the first place. Or if it did, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. At all.
Make fun of you, and then you will look like a clown. You will look like a fool, because the reality is you are a clown. You're on Reddit. Like, let's be real.
Exactly.
You are, and so am I. But the difference is I am a paid clown who is a professional clown, so I know how to fucking conduct myself. You, on the other hand, most likely do not.
Looking absolutely.
Okay, let's watch it from the top before we even get to the cringe token.
Segment of Mary Williamson married. Yeah, the thing is, though, at least with Marianne, she's, you know, like, say what you want about her, she at least, you know, has an interesting way of marketing out her different ideas and shit. And honestly, she does have a legit, you know, her, like, a lot of her ideas are pretty sounded towards a more left, progressive style way. She just has a really weird way of marketing it, but I do honestly think that in a strange way that is sellable to various different types of people, because she's, like, what is she, she has, like, a degree in psychology or something like that, so she legitimately like, I know she is, adept in, psychology, so, you know, like, and she definitely understands these type of things, you know, so, I mean, say what you want about her, she's definitely kind of the quirky, you know, chakra crystal, you know, like, auntie, but, you know, hey, yeah, you know, her heart's in the right place, and, you know, she knows what side she's on. Actually, just made multiple interviews where leftists on Fox. Yeah, The thing is, though, because they're, they know how to, sell those ideas and be, fairly charismatic when it comes to selling them, too. I mean, I guess charismatic's not really the best word for it. I should say, like, being a good orator when it comes to, pushing those ideas out there where Fox kind of gets checked. But that's also kind of the reason why, to a certain degree, Fox will half-assedly appease to certain left ideas like anti-war positions and shit. Where, it's like ostensibly it's kind of left, but in reality they really aren't. Obviously. Like Tucker's a pretty good example of this, where some lefties think he's like half on their side and half not, because he happens to be like kind of quote left on some issues when he literally isn't at all. The representatives need to know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really just comes down to it. Like, to know your enemy and to know yourself, you'll always see the result of 1,000 battles. So it's straight in the fucking art of war. Like, honestly, in a weird way, like, I mean, I do recommend, the art of war when it comes to certain things like, debate tactics, or, engaging philosophy and countering another one's philosophy and shit. Because, like, especially that quote, to know your enemy and to know yourself, I mean, that's just true no matter what, even outside of military lingo and shit. Because, like, politically, you want to know what your enemy's positions are and what their shit is on top of your own self. So, like, so what, your positions are and how to counteract, the opposite positions as well in accordance. What is your deal? What the hell?
Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America?
So, can you see how already this is going to be made into a mockery? Just the question in itself. And honestly, you could probably look at, this guy's face, but he's already got the smug look of, like, got him, baby. And honestly, it's just like, it was like, just from the get-go, you can tell this is just meant to be a fucking hit piece. So, it shows how much this was a fucking mistake.
So there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort. We want to put in labor. But we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You just quoted from Office Space, where that person feels very trapped in their job. I think we're calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel...
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real.
This person's a moron. Because, like, honestly, this is such a weak-ass fucking, way of describing any of this shit. Like, I am sitting here like, can you elaborate? Can you elaborate? I'm sitting here mentally, in my head thinking, can you elaborate on what the fuck you're meaning here? Like, I get what the person means, but I legitimately do want to hear more specifically details of what the fuck you mean. You can't just, like, oh, you mentioned this one thing and how it's, like, grudgous and stuff. We just want, less of that, basically. It's like, it's like, gee, yeah, you just want them there, buddy. You want them there.
She, her. This is a trans woman. Okay, so don't be fucking mean and don't misgender her.
I think, yeah. From my understanding, it's they, them, / she, her, but... Okay, you want outside. I get it. Hold on.
Okay, my bad. I thought she, her. Sorry. That's what someone said in the chat. Okay, MB. See, this would be good to know what their pronouns are. Why the fuck did you pick the name Doreen? What the fuck is that? You had every name to choose? You went with Doreen? Okay, sorry. I had to get that out of the way. Completely unrelated to everything. It's like, imagine. Imagine.
Funny enough, I actually know somebody named Doreen.
You're fucking, you know, you're a trans woman, okay, and you're like, you know, you're a trans woman. You're like, I have.
Bro, look at your fucking fit, Hassan. I don't think you got anything to bitch about here, bro.
Opportunity now.
Look at your goddamn fit. Like, what is this weird, like, bright blue pinstripe, like, leopard, like, 1970s, like, porn director status going on, bro?
Which is a beautiful thing, okay? You have the opportunity
Bitching about Doreen, like, come on.
for yourself, okay? One that reflects you better than anything else, and you go with, like, Bethel.
Bethel? What?
Spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff.
Honestly, though, this isn't, like, that bad so far. I think the reason why...
Okay. Hassan, yes it is. Yes, it is. Like, okay, I heard that quick little quit there. It's like, we want her to kind of, like, respects us and stuff. That's stupid. That's like a fucking, like, high school report grade level shit. It's like, what does it mean for the quote-unquote, you know, workplace to respect workers, you know, and stuff? And, like, that's just such a, like, kid's mentality of fucking, like, looking at it. Like, sorry, but it just is. It's like, yeah, you know, how do we want a workplace to, you know, respect the workers, you know, better? And stuff. Like, I mean, well, I don't know, to, like, look at what the conditions are and, you know, see specifically of the conditions of that specific workplace are and highlight those problems. Like, and especially when it comes to, safety conditions, when it comes to the well-being and the healthcare of workers and shit, there's a lot of fucking hazards with that right now, considering there's a fucking pandemic. Especially for a lot of frontline workers, like people who work at, like, you know, who are doctors, nurses, you know, people who work at bars, restaurants, fucking, you know, grocery stores and shit. Like, there's a lot of fucking unsafe, you know, aspects and conditions that don't, you know, respect the workers in this case. A lot. And that, like, and you can't even think of any of these things. That's just one. I can think of just one off the top of my head. I mean, I go in very explicit detail, no, but it's, you know, better than this shit. Are you, like, come on. Like, it really shows, like, it's honestly that this person probably realistically hasn't really touched that much grass. I mean, evidently they touched some grass with the walking dogs, but not enough. Like, I think touching the dogs that have touched the grass is not actually touching the grass. I think you have to actually, like, touch the grass to be touching the grass. Feel me?
Just because, like, they have the Vaseline filter on that, like, every fucking person that doesn't do this professionally, like, has a really hard time. Even professional people have a really hard time, like, fucking, you know, fixing their camera and their lighting and shit. I mean, look at me. I do this professionally. My lighting is dog shit right now. So, like, so I think, like, people are probably shitting on them because, like, one, non-binary, obviously. So, like, everyone on fucking Reddit is immediately going to be like, oh, it's so cringe. Why? Because they're fucking trans? Is that why? Dickhead?
No.
Why?
It's because they actually don't do a good job representing these positions.
But it's not too bad so far.
Like that,
Yes, it is.
you know, there's varying...
I don't necessarily like Hassan's take with this, but I'm just using him for the video.
So Doreen, you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment. And
Another fucking gotcha by this guy. Like, when it comes to the idea that, you know, of, you know, the term, like, you know, wage slavery, or, like, you know, like, you know, slavery, like, still exists, you know, when it comes to, you know, worker exploitation and shit, like, that's kind of the aspect, you know, that's kind of the key factor, is that it comes into, you know, wages that are non-livable, and that you know, struggle to get by on, and you have to basically, you know, be in a very costly living situation, because, you know, whether it's medical debt, credit card debt, whatever, and having to work multiple jobs and shit, basically being, you know, subservient to whatever type of, you know, conditions and wages and pay that those jobs give you, and you don't have much of a voice or a choice. That's the main reason. Like, if there's no, you know, conditions or wages or pay that are better significantly, you know, in the area and shit. It's not simple just, you know, getting up and moving somewhere else when you don't even have necessarily the money to take care of your, you know, self right then and there. Like, if you're already struggling, you know, it's also hard to just kind of, like, up and move somewhere else, too. You know, where opportunities might be better. Well, it's like, maybe I don't have the means to go to, you know, to a place that has better opportunities. Because I don't have the means to sustain myself as it is. That's why, you know, the whole term, like, wage slavery and, you know, like, you know, workplace-based slavery and shit like that, you know, is, like, a term and stuff. Because of those type of conditions that have been, you know, steadily getting fucking worse and worse over the years.
Sea Waters fucking owned it. You chose to walk those dogs. Fuck yeah. It's like, oh, nice, dude. Yeah, you got it. Like, as though, you know,
actually have to rebuke it, though.
There isn't any element of coercion in the job application process for a capitalist organization of the economy. As a matter of fact, the entire purpose of the fucking anti-work subreddit, which I don't even fucking frequent, but I can comprehend, is the idea that, like, you shouldn't be forced to fucking work. Like, everybody wants to work, but it's about choosing, like, where you are working and how you are working, being able to make that choice, which Jesse Waters can at this stage in his life do that, okay? Because he has...
Exactly. Like, he can do that, but, you know, because he has the means and expendable income to do so. Most people don't. Which is why it's not as easy to just, like, up and go and find better opportunities elsewhere. I mean, you know, because the likelihood of better opportunities being in the same area are pretty minimal. Like, and if there are, they're very negligible at best. You'd be like, well, our wages are better, but the benefits are like, fuck all. Oh, yeah, that paid time off and stuff you got from the previous job, yeah, that doesn't exist here. Fuck you. Hey, wages are better, though. I mean, it's like it's a give and take, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, at best, and just, you know, legit worse, you know, when it comes to wages and benefits, or negligible, you know, in that case.
Initial comfort and security that allows him to be able to make these decisions, whereas, you know, Doreen and numerous other subredditors on the anti-work subreddit do not have that. They're also autistic, I believe, so they have a hard time focusing the camera and looking at the reporter. Not sure about that, though. I mean, dude, yeah, it's just...
Okay, that's not an excuse. I'm autistic, and I could look at a camera and look at a reporter just fine. Like, sorry, but that isn't honestly an excuse I'm willing to buy.
Here you go.
Unless they're, like, legitimately, like, severely autistic or something, I don't buy it.
You know, you can walk away.
That's something that can be worked on with people.
Quit, so I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being lazy. Are you encouraging people to be lazy?
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7, and it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be so far.
Okay, what? No. You just, like, basically played right in their fucking hand again. Good job. Like especially when they're mentioning about, oh, are you trying to encourage laziness? Like, you can't just be like, well, you know, when it comes to the virtue of it, it's like, okay, so now you just basically fell into their hand and are implicitly saying, yeah, I am encouraging people to, quote-unquote, in their words, be lazy. Not in Zori's words, but in the fucking host's words. So, good job, you play in their hand, dingbat. I mean, it's like, no, it's like, first of all, if you say, no, there's no encouragement of laziness, and I think because, honestly, the concept, you know, I think can be misconstrued in some cases. You know, where, you know, somebody who might not necessarily be employed, you know, who's, you know, trying to garner rest, or might, you know, be having, like, some sick pay to, or, like, some sick leave to try to rest up and work on their mental health, that's also important as much as your own physical health. And so... In circumstances, sometimes it's good to just simply just, you know, check out for a bit and rest. Does that mean you're being lazy? No. You're just, you know, allowing yourself to rest and, you know, get more, you know, like, prepped up and better, you know, for the next day or for later in, you know, for later on. You know, that's not laziness. That's, you know, take into account for your own health. You know, so if that's laziness to you, then I'm, you know, I'd be kind of, you know, curious to see, you know, what, like, actual laziness must be to you, like, because, my goodness. Like, if that's laziness, then honestly, that's kind of appalling. I mean, like, you gotta throw it back at them. And be like, oh, if you think, you know, looking out for your own health is, you know, being lazy, then, geez, like, you must not really look out for your own health? Like, I mean, is that what you're saying? Like, are you saying that looking after your own health is not a good thing? You know, throw it at them. Be like, you know, be like, aren't we supposed to be, you know, individuals looking after our health and being strong, you know, like, individuals looking after ourselves and blah, blah, blah. Like, if we can't do it, you know, can't necessarily do that if we're constantly, you know, on the grind and shit. We need time, you know, to actually, you know, be that type of individual, blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, there's a fucking way to, you know, word it and actually articulate it to where even some of these fucking conservative bozos that watch this can even get it.
Stupid. This is why, like, you know, people hyper-focus on identity politics, but and say, like, identity politics is bad for, like, class solidarity, but then they fucking turn around and get upset at a non-binary person for being fucking trans, while quite literally
I don't even think that's necessarily an issue that people are fucking, you know, clamoring about. I don't know why Hassan keeps bringing it up, honestly. But at least as far as I'm concerned, I could give a fuck. Like, I mean, them being trans has nothing to do with this, at least. I mean, it's like, if anything, you know, the fact that they're not representing this, you know, correctly actually will kind of undermine, you know, some of their advocacy as, you know, a trans person to a degree, because if they don't have the income or, you know, the ability to afford the health care to get their transitions into their treatments or whatever they need available for, you know, for their, you know, particular identity of being trans or not binary, then it's like, then it's like, what the fuck are you doing to yourself then? You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, aren't you?
Their best interest. Many of you probably thought I was going to fucking
I mean, technically agree with them. People shouldn't have to work if they don't want to. The whole part of the UBI thing, I did this shit arguing for it though. Yeah, and the thing is, I also agree with that. I was just kind of I was mainly using one specific, you know, angle at it. That's another angle though. So like, yeah, I mean, if people don't necessarily want to work and focus more on themselves in other ways and be productive in different ways, that isn't necessarily working at a standard, you know, what we consider like kind of a typical job that people work and stuff, then people should be able to do that. And there should at least be some sort of a means to, you know, available for them to sustain themselves, like a UBI. You know, because also there's some people that honestly can't. You know, they might, you know, not have the ability to work, you know, and even if they might want to, you know, to some degree, you know, or not, you know, but like fundamentally, whether they want to or not, shouldn't be the, you know, like the matter should be the fact that that should be in place for people that don't, you know, because there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want to work those type of jobs. I mean, I don't, but I mean, it's not like I don't want to work necessarily. I just don't want to do that work. Like, fuck that type of work. It sucks. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, like doing, you know, like ranch handing or some shit, like if I had a job like that, honestly, I legit would probably love it. I mean, it'd probably have its cons and negatives, like as any job probably does to a certain degree, but, you know, you know, in comparison to other people, I'd probably legit, you know, like it a little more in comparison to other people. But nonetheless, you know, it's just like there's some jobs that, you know, people might, you know, look at and not even consider like a job or work because they legit just like it. And also, there's not even necessarily a problem with that. I mean, you know, it's just about like accounting and, you know, for the people that just necessarily don't want to, you know, when it comes to, you know, these type of jobs, or there's just, you know, they don't want to work any particular jobs that are out and about, you know, or out there and, you know, concurrently, you know, in like the economic sphere of things or whatever, and just want to do something different, like expand themselves when it comes to art, or, you know, just, you know, some hobby they want to be into or some shit, like whatever the fuck. Like, people should be able to, you know, have the maximum amount of time and the maximum amount of, you know, abilities and means and opportunities to self-actualize themselves. I mean, period. Like, when it comes, you know, because that, like, I mean, what, like, if there's gonna be any, like, quote-unquote, like, purpose or, you know, like, meaning that we can make for ourselves, then what better way to actually achieve something like that for people than actually have, you know, a legitimate, you know, like, society where the maximization of self-actualization is, you know, a real thing. and a lot of that, you know, honestly, you know, when looking into that, I look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because honestly, I think, you know, there's I mean, there's kind of a couple variations of it, but they're all essentially the same. But like, honestly, I think it's a really perfect like kind of root staple of looking at a basis of like the needs of when it comes to, you know, achieving, you know, for, you know, or at least looking at, you know, when it comes to like people's needs and kind of on the hierarchical level of things, because when looking at it, it actually does make sense. There's some dumbass attacking the person for being transitive over substance. Yeah, and they're fucking stupid. And honestly, it is legit some casual transphobic bullshit that is just nonsense. Like, this person being trans is not the problem. Like, it's not even remotely close to the problem at all. Like, honestly, if there's anything about their personal character or some of the stuff that's kind of propped up about, like, some of their past Facebook posts when it came to, like, some of their sexual misconduct, from what I understand, I don't know what truth there is to it, but, or what, you know, isn't true, but, you know, so that's why I'm kind of not making a total fucking, you know, hard stance on that. But, I mean, there was, like, a little, side thread on the general, like, Mayday Strike, chat, where there was, like, a thread specifically about it, and there was some posts that were posted there. And it was definitely interesting, to say the least, you know, when it came to this person. So it's like, all in all, is this, you know, legit a good representative?
Stuck in the door.
Doreen, which is, in my opinion, not the best name to choose, okay? That's just my take, okay?
This shit's just noise. The interview and process around the interview were asked regardless. Well, yeah. I mean, all in all, it is just kind of noise. They, she were a terrible representative. Yeah, regardless. I mean, like, they could have honestly been anyone else, and it probably would have been slightly better. Just straight up. And honestly, I think that's why there was just such a splintering and shit, because you had somebody who was a mod of a, you know, subreddit who's basically a representative of the entire fucking group, and the entire group there was like, no, don't do this, and yet they did anyway. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why I guess there was kind of a fracture and shit, but honestly, it wasn't as big as it seemed, just because a lot of it was just mainly like a couple mods versus like the rest of the community. So it's like, fuck. I mean, they definitely done fucked up with it for sure. And I guess rest in peace r/anti-work. But now there's the r/work reform, which doesn't ring as strong as anti-work, but whatever. You know, so, you know, it's like all of it's honestly, like, kind of all in all pretty stupid and shit, but I mean, it's kind of a fucking major object lesson when it comes to this stuff. It really is. Because it's not as simple as just going out there and just representing the idea and just boom, there you go. And, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, it's not as simple as that. You can't just go out there like Doreen did and just, like, you know, just kind of just talk and just like, hope for the best. Like, I mean, like, you know, honestly, I think a really good object lesson is looking at the times Kyle Kulinski was on Fox News. Because he prepped for his shit. Like, he made sure that, I mean, he always does anyway, he's kind of OCD like that, but, I mean, he, you know, would have his points, he would, you know, I mean, anyone who watches Secular Talk knows how he is. Like, he's got his points down, he basically has, like, a fucking epigenetic, like, code in his brain that just, like, you know, goes into the archives, you know, like a fucking algorithmic, like, computer, just, like, like a fucking, like, file deck, you know, just filled with all the points that he needs. Like, I mean, just some crazy fucking, like, quantum tech going on in that brain of his or some shit. And then just straight up, you know, just whips it out, like, boom, 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 boom. So, I mean, he actually preps for his shit, and not just that, but he knows how to best, like, push that idea out there, you know, in a good way. That actually is digestible even to, you know, some conservative audiences. You know, not all of them, of course, but, you know, to at least, you know, at least enough to win a couple people over. I mean, I guess a couple meaning, like, maybe a couple dozen or so, give or take, depending how many people are watching at that moment. That could be kind of inconsistent. Debating, this GLP debating Fox debates were tremendous. This debate with that dude from Turning Point wasn't very good. Oh, Charlie Kirk? Yeah, because he was always trying to look like he was doing some major slam dunks and shit, which, didn't really work as well as it seemed. I mean, it wasn't, like, bad. But, you know, yeah, it wasn't the greatest. But, yeah. I mean, nonetheless, I mean, this is definitely, especially when it comes to labor, I think a major strong object lesson. Like, especially when it comes to just being a representative and being a voice on a large scale like that, you can't just fucking go out there and just start blabbering shit, you know, and just like, yeah, we kind of want that, you know, we kind of want these things that are better and stuff, you know, yeah. It's, that ain't gonna sell anybody. You just kind of look like a, straight up, this trope that fucking Fox News is gonna prop up. Because now, at least in the meantime, whenever fucking, you know, conservatives think of, like, the fucking basement-dwelling lib or some shit, they're gonna think of this person. Kyle came out as an asshole during that debate. It was kind of impressive seeing that it was against Kirk. Yeah. I think he was trying to do some gotchas, because he was trying to be like, hey, you know, you say you're for this, but boom, bitch. You got this going on your fucking record. It's up to that motherfucker. You know, it kind of like that, kind of that mentality with it. You know, it's like, I mean, I guess to a certain degree it could work, but I mean, I mean, not with Charlie Kirk, so to speak. Maybe with somebody different, like Steven Crowder. Like, I think they'd be okay with Steven Crowder because he's a fucking pompous, condescending asshole piece of shit. You know, so he deserve it. But. Like, I mean, Charlie Kirk, I think the wrong personality at a target, I think. Honestly, speaking of Kyle, I didn't watch it. Well, okay, I'm lying. I watched some of it. But I saw a fucking Voosh clip, that honestly is cringe beyond cringe, and it's literally Hassan and Kyle Kalinski's Ukraine-Russia takes are, all caps, bad! Hour and a half video. And basically, it's just essentially like a pro, you know, like, hey, you know, Russia bad, we need to defend Ukraine, and actually, like, you know, fucking, you know, be there to fucking, like, you know, stand guard for Ukraine. It's just like, what? Honestly, like, I got, like, low-key, I kind of have a little bit about, kind of a hot take on my own self personally, but, I mean, but honestly, it's not even that, you know, 100% absolute representative, you know, just Ukrainians in general, but there just straight up is a lot of fucking, like, Nazi supremacist fucking groups and paramilitary organizations that are also very, like, specifically, like, anti-Russian and shit, that are basically literal, like, Nazis, essentially. Like, Ukrainian Nazis, you know, because there actually is a historic reason for this, too, because a lot of the different, minority groups who weren't Russians and shit saw the Germans as, like, liberators to a certain degree because of a lot of, the shit that Soviet Union was doing, in the region of Ukraine at the time. So so a lot of Ukrainian groups and organizations collaborated with the SS and Nazis at the time, and a lot of that, like, reverement and, like, thankfulness and shit is kind of stuck around. So there's actually, like, a lot of legitimate, like, sympathetic and views of advocacy towards Nazism and shit within different sects of Ukrainians that also are very, like, they pretty much, like, view, like, Russians as they probably would view, like, Jews or some shit. I mean, I'm torn on that shit. I don't want a war with Russia, but invading Ukraine would be like Germany invading Poland prior to World War II. Yeah. It's, at the end of the day, it's not our fucking war. Like, I mean, there's a lot of corporate U.S. interests in that fucking region, which is why, you know, we have so much, you know, saber-rattling and prominence over there. And a lot of that's because of George W. himself, actually, funny enough. Because, and even a lot of other European countries were kind of warning Bush on this, was like, hey, you know, you're being kind of friendly with Ukraine, and, like, you're getting very close with them, that would basically, you know, be a detriment in the long run to the general stability in the region here. Which, what do you know? Now we're kind of reaping the seeds of that shit. Thanks, war criminal Bush. I mean, it's just like one of the, you know, what maybe at the time was seen as kind of a neutral thing ended up being a very negative thing in the long run. As pretty much anything George Bush touches, anyway. But, I mean, honestly, there's just a lot of fucking elements about, like, different groups that the United States legit supports that are basically just, like, are, like, formerly not, like, I mean, what formerly back in the 40s and shit were straight Nazi-backed, like, paramilitary groups and shit. I mean, like, also, like, with the Donetsk, like, wars and shit, like, even on the more pro-Russian sides of it, they're also pretty much kind of Nazistic, too. Like, I mean, like, there isn't really any legit good side on any of this. Like, there's legit no good, I mean, honestly, fundamentally, there's no good sides to any war, but, like, on, I mean, but especially here, there just isn't. Like, I mean, the Ukrainian people stuck in the muck of it, I mean, like, I mean, that's, you know, the especially fucked up thing about it. Including the other, you know, nations that might, you know, get heavily impacted by this shit. Like, because I think even Japan was just, you know, is out there being like, hey, if you, you know, escalate towards Ukraine and shit, saying to Russia, it's like, we'll also escalate with you as well. It's like, so it's not even just the U.S. doing this either. It's like, there's all sorts of fucking nations, you know, really fucking militaristically saber-rattling Russia right now. And it legit is not fucking good. But as far as I'm concerned, it ain't my fucking war. I mean, hopefully, you know, there could actually be legit, like, a spawn of an anti-war movement again from this shit, because there really should have been one for a long time ago, but, I mean, now there really needs to be one more than ever. I mean, because we know why, you know, like, I mean, there's various different reasons as to why Russia wants to be there and shit. And, honestly, there's really legit, like, various different nuances of this type of thing. Like, there's different treaties that happened right after the Soviet Union collapsed and shit, like, that really play a major role in this, where, you know, honestly, like, some people in the chat, I've noticed, in Bosch's, like, comment section, I've noticed has been trying to do, like, some sort of gotcha with it by kind of, not mentioning certain details while highlighting others. Like, here, I could probably fucking, let me see if I can find the one that was. Oh, right here. Fun fact, the U.S. had to convince Ukraine to give back old Soviet nuclear weapons to Russia, and in exchange we provide financial aid, and we didn't slap sanctions on them. Edit, with the inclusion of Russia promising not to violate Ukrainian independence sovereignty in the existing borders, see Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurance 94. It's like, they're kind of also forgetting the caveat of the promise of NATO not expanding as an alliance, and, you know, enclosing further into Russia as a state, which NATO's been doing since, which is a violation of these treaties. So it's like, it's like you highlight one thing, but you kind of leave out another little important caveat, which is why, you know, they're like, Russia's looking at this like, well, if you're violating this, you know, like this, you know, shit, then why in the fuck is, you know, your word matter? So why should ours matter? Fuck you. I mean, but fundamentally, like, a lot of those fucking trees are probably going to be the real, you know, root to this type of fucking war, because, you know, we / NATO couldn't abide by it. We, as in the U.S. government, and then fucking, you know, Russia looked at that and was like, well, we won't abide by our, you know, the shit either, because you aren't. So, now we're just, you know, back to square one again. And, well, here we are. But, man, it's just like straight up like a fucking lot of staunch fucking like pro-war saber rattling with Russia right now. It's like, yep, Russia was dirty fucking Tsarist communist fucking trying to come back. Those damn devils. It's like, give me a fucking break. I mean, I'd probably be in favor of the war if the fucking oligarchs, aristocrats, and the fucking, like, lobbyists and the bankers and all those motherfuckers who fund and exasperate and profit off of these fucking wars and shit, like, if they're sent to the front lines first. I mean, hey, then I might be okay with it a little bit. It's like, hey, anyone who makes, like, $5 million or more who is, you know, directly funded and invested in the fucking, you know, war and shit, you first. By the way, don't get any training. Just put on the flat jacket, the helmet, and your fucking gun, and just go. Figure it out, bitch. Have fun with that. Just got fucking, like, goddamn... Ben Shapiro just like, how do I operate this? Looking at a fucking, like, looking in the inside of a fucking Abrams tank, just, like, trying to drive it, like, how in the fuck do you operate this? Hey, excuse me, does anyone know how to use this? You got, like, Dan Crenshaw in the background, like, I wasn't assigned to tanks. I don't know how to do this either. Plus, it's hard to see in here with one eye. The Jefferson Bezos Armada, dude. Yeah, that would be the task force, the Jefferson Bezos Armada. I feel like Russia would win in that case because Putin actually is, like, former KGB, so he has legit military experience. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Russian oligarchs are probably actually military backed, like, legit. Ours are just fucking doughy fucks that send other people to war. Send the workers, you know, to pick up the gun instead. Which I think is kind of, you know, tangential to labor anyway. Because when it comes down to wars and shit, who's the number one fucking people that are sent out first? Well, the workers. Because they're, you know, usually seen as the most expendable when it comes to the work, but when it comes to war, again, they're also seen as easily expendable. Because while the daddies are off to war, the sons who are all grown up can go work at the factory instead. And then when the poppies die, then they can get shipped off too. After they, you know, have a child themselves, if they're newlywed, and then they get to go die too. So it's just like, I mean, it's just like repeat the type of cycle and shit, because, you know, in this case, the workers are easily expendable, whether, you know, they're picking up the gun and fighting, you know, some other random bumblefuck plot of dirt, or on your own plot of dirt, you know, or, you know, so it's just like, or a plot of dirt around the hill, or some shit. It's like, hey, you see that plot of dirt on the other side of this, you know, mountainside region over here, because they happen to be of a different banner or some shit? Yeah, we'll pick up a gun. We're going over there now, damn it. It's like, what? Why? Wait, what do they do to me? What? All I know is if they bring the draft back, I'm going to be adamant advocate for draft dodging. Draft dodge as much as possible. Fuck that shit. I probably don't even necessarily qualify because I could be like, I'm autistic as fuck. Alright, well, I guess you disqualify. The process will be so huge about to be forced to resign. Well, I hope. Better goddamn fucking better. Because it would definitely, like, because honestly, an anti-war movement's always been tied in with civil rights, labor. Like, I mean, the civil rights movement, like, one of the biggest, you know, elements to it was labor and anti-war elements. Like, there was different factions of anti-war, you know, veterans, hippies, you know, like the Flower Power movement. and, you know, laborers too, and then there was just, you know, laborers who saw intersectionality amongst that and civil rights and civil justice as well. I mean, they're, you know, like, I mean, especially when it comes to at least the broader ideas and object lessons of intersectionality, I think civil rights is a really great example of things like this. And then when it comes to, I think, just a more radicalized tax and more stronger will, just, you know, outside of electoral slash, you know, outside of the paradigm and use of action and shit, you know, looking at the early labor movements like the 1800s of the Haymarket Affair and shit. And, you know, like in the 20s as well. Honestly, if I was, like, somehow forced into the fucking Ukrainian front for some reason or another, or whatever the fuck, like, they grabbed me and forced me anyway, or some shit, it's like, nah, too bad, you're drafted. Honestly, I just find the nearest partisan group that's, like, anti-all sides, like, anti-every side, and just, like, join them instead. Be like, hey, what's up, y'all? Against Russia, against, like, America, against, like, the fucking Ukrainian government because they suck too? Cool. I'll join you guys. Find, like, some tiny-ass, like, anarchist fucking group or some shit and be like, what's up, fam? I guess I'm living here now. For at least in the meantime. I'd flee to a neutral European country, apply for political asylum. I mean, I'd probably eventually organize for that, you know, and try to work with, you know, whatever group I find, you know, to do that, and be like, hey, I don't want to necessarily be here forever, but, you know, in the meantime, I'll help you all out. But, you know, outside of that, I mean, I do kind of want to get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, I'd probably flee to, you know, eventually I'd be doing the same shit for sure. Like, I don't want to be there forever. But, you know, because, like, the longer I'm there, the likely I'm gonna, well, die. So, like, you know, yeah, no thank you. So, yeah, like, just find the nearest, like, like, group of partisans or some shit and organize with them to help me get out, you know. And maybe, you know, see if I can maybe get a couple of them out, too. Or some shit, you know, but... I mean, honestly, it's not necessarily uncommon for different, like, you know, partisan groups to have, like, all sorts of different, like, multinationals and shit. Like, the Rojava, like, there was a lot of different, Western, citizens and shit that legit dropped everything and left, to go to Syria and go to the specific area where a lot of the, Rojava and, Kurdish, socialist leftist, groups were, and found them and joined them. And took up arms to help him out and shit. And there was actually a few people that who were Americans and Englishmen who actually died doing that shit too. So all in all, actually, strangely enough, it's not really uncommon to hear things like that. It's actually still pretty common today. Where people are so sympathetic and advocate to a group, you know, to a foreign land, and they actually go and join their cause. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, at least when it came to, like, the Rojava, it's just like, I mean, especially at their peak, like, if I was my age right now and had the fucking expendable income, half of my ass would probably be like, yeah, for a few months, why not, but, eh. But I think that's just my wanderlust talking there a little bit, honestly. You know, to see a whole totally new world, but, you know, also legit walk the walk, you know, fighting, you know, for, you know, a group that has very similar ideas when it comes to my own as well, when it comes to broader, you know, leftist ideas and shit. But I honestly don't know if they're still a thing anymore, fortunately, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they are still a thing, but just not, you know, as strong as they used to. Just given the circumstances that are probably going on over there, but... I mean, Syria's actually been pretty quiet, all things considered, but I think that's kind of a good thing. Well, not really, because I guess because I think the spotlight's just on Ukraine right now, so... I'm sure Syria would be another area, a fucking hot zone in this shit, because Russia has an interest there, too. So Syria would be a fucking, like, let's just, like, I mean, if there was a hot war, there, like, a lot of Western European countries, like probably Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, like, these would probably be, like, different areas of the front line. On top of, you know, depending on how far it goes in either direction, could even bleed into places like in Germany and shit. So it's like, it's not exactly pretty. I mean, hell, there's even different outlets that have put out like some opinion pieces saying, like, you know, where their opinions are like, yeah, like, if this war happened, it would literally be long, bitter, and brutal, and bloody. It's like, yeah, probably. I mean, especially with the spring coming up, because there's probably going to be a lot of rain coming in, so there's going to be a lot of mud, a lot of fucking, you know, bogging down. So, I mean, if there's anything to look at, you know, Operation Barbarossa as historical context when it comes to that type of conditions, things get bogged down quick and front lines get stagnant, and that ends up being a pretty brutal, bloody fucking front. I mean, all testaments when it came to World War II basically says that the Eastern Front is probably the most bloodiest fucking front in Europe, just period. Probably just because of places like Stalingrad alone. So extrapolate that to modern days. We're like Kiev, it's like house to house fighting. The rural fucking countryside, just muddy fucking trenches and shit. So almost like Great War era fucking combat going on, a fucking trench warfare. Biden tries to invade Russia in the winter. Actually, that's not actually, that was, it'd be a good idea to do that, actually. Funny enough. Because this actually happened with Napoleon Bonaparte, too. Because, strangely enough, Hitler invaded Russia, well, the Soviet Union at the time, at the same date as Napoleon when he invaded Russia. June 21st. And that date is, like, honestly, that's probably the key date. Like, never invade Russia during that date, because by the time you're actually, like, deep into Russian territory, it is winter and fall, and that's where you get fucked up. So, if anything, it would probably be better to invade during the winter, because by the time it's spring and summer, you know, you can, you know, use that as the time you need to invade during the front instead of right at the beginning of summer. So, actually, contrary to the idea, it's actually the better idea. Don't invade Russia in the summer. In fact, just don't invade Russia. That's just a bear you don't want to touch. I mean, honestly, if... like, I mean, you got, like, all these other countries, like Japan, and, you know, like, overall, in the long run, it's not going to be necessarily feasible for Russia to do this in the long run. They're expecting this to probably be a very quick, swift, you know, conflict overall if they actually go with it. So if you have these other countries like Japan and, like, you know, the US too, because they can also invade via their bases in Japan, and Korea too, so Korea could even be involved. Like, and they can invade via Vladivostok and go into the eastern side of Russia and move in via Siberia. And that actually, you know, can strain the Russian front and their logistics, because they have to manage Eastern Front, you know, in the far east, and also have to manage the Ukrainian front and the Western fronts in Europe, or at least in Eastern Europe. So, and Finland too, probably, with a Northern front. So, their equipment and their logistics, and when it comes to manpower and all that, like, they're gonna have to, I mean, there's a lot of people that live in Russia, for sure. And there's, you know, I mean, I mean, they got time, I guess, and they got a lot of land, you know, to make up for what they have and everything else, but, I mean, all in all, is that something that they want to sacrifice? Putin pays Kimmy to invade South Korea as a distraction. I don't know how much Putin or Russia as a government has invested into North Korea. That's kind of the thing. Like, when it comes to this, I don't know if China is actually going to be a player in it. Like, this is mainly like a conflict of Russia, not China. So, I mean, China might take advantage of it. Like, so, they might become like a kind of a separate war, but kind of like how Japan with the US was kind of not like, I mean, it was a totally different conflict, but in the same general world war. So it's like, it's going to be kind of the same thing there. You know, where it's going to be kind of a, in general, different conflict, but in the broader world war, because it's tangential and indirectly related to it. Do you really think China will stay neutral? Maybe for a little bit. Play it out for a while. Let the US and Russia drain their fucking manpower and their resources and their equipment. You know, when they're kind of at a weaker stage of the war, pounce. That'd actually be the smart move. Just wait it out for a while. Like, if anything, like, if Xi is smart about it, he would wait it. He would wait it out for a little bit. Because if the US does get involved, which chances are they would, then by that point, then Russia can, you know, be focused with the United States, and the United States will be heavily focused with Russia. And by that point, China would eventually, you know, wait it out, let the chaos, you know, of the war and instability and the power grabs, you know, take hold. Let South Korea, you know, if they get... I think, you know, they'll kind of see what Japan, South Korea, and some of the oceanic nations do. Like Australia, New Zealand, like if Anzac forces get involved as well. Like, I mean, if these different forces get involved, I think that would actually play a role in one way or the other if they pounce sooner rather than later. Because if, you know, Japan or like Australia, New Zealand, or these other countries that are allied with the US, or, you know, these other countries, like the United Kingdom, you know, that would also probably be involved in this war too, then they would, you know, look at that as an opportunity as like, okay, so their manpower and their equipment is being used and being, you know, used elsewhere and shit. Give it some time to replenish the resources and manpower elsewhere. And while they're weakened, you know, more in the homeland, more, you know, regions that aren't, you know, the front lines in the in the Pacific and the Oceania, then, you know, then that would be their time to strike. I mean, just speaking out of pure geopolitical posturing maneuvers, that would be the smartest move. Stay neutral if the threat stepping in if any countries invade Russia from the east. Yeah, actually, I feel like that would probably be it. That seems like the most diplomatic move that they would do. It's like, hey, if any eastern countries like Japan, South Korea, you know, etc. get involved, then we get involved. You know, so that seems like, you know, probably the, you know, smarter move to pressure, you know, those countries to not get involved, because then it could probably buy China more time in a sense to kind of better prep, you know, for them specifically. But I feel like I'm saying, I feel like, you know, they would rather let them waste their manpower and waste their resources and get drained a little bit, you know, in a different conflict, and then take advantage when they're kind of weaker. Maybe not at their weakest, so to speak, because they probably won't expect that, but when they're far more focused and most of the resources and equipment and manpower is elsewhere. But considering involvement with Japan and China, if Japan were to get involved and have troops in eastern Russia, that's bordering China, so that kind of plays a little bit of a pickle for China. They would have a front line in the mainland Far East. So, I mean, that would probably be the main pickle about that. But flanking them, you know, would probably, you know, throw them off. But at the same time, I'm sure Japan's probably thinking about that too. So, like, honestly, I think, you know, what really plays the role is, you know, Japan's position on that and what they do. Because if they have, like, a front line on China's border with Russia and shit in that conflict, then that kind of, you know, makes it so, like, Japan kind of can easily go boop, right into northern China from the northeast in Manchukuo. You know, so it's, I mean, it's kind of a caveat for China there, because they would have to put at least a decent amount of their forces there versus expanding out into these other places. So, yeah, it'd be, you know, that'd probably be the caveat. They already have a weak military per the Constitution. Well, from what I understand, I've read an article that's Japan is threatened to get involved in the conflict if Russia were to invade Ukraine, because they have the backing of the United States, because they know the United States will get involved, so they can collaborate with U.S. forces. So, I mean, like, in a sense, they could, just not as much as like a full standing army. It would be in collaboration with other forces. So it would be, you know, with ANZAC, with Australia, New Zealand, etc., and South Korea as well. Well, I guess not necessarily ANZAC because the Dutch aren't really there anymore, but it was trying to make the military stronger, but right now they're Abe was trying to make their military stronger, but right now their military wouldn't stand a chance against China or Russia. Well, hence why it would be a collaboration effort with the United States and probably South Korea as well. And, you know, the oceanic countries of New Zealand and Australia. So, I mean, like, they see a spot stream because of the collaboration efforts. They know they would get backing from other nations and shit. They basically got bigger, tough guys and thugs around them that are, like, you know, saying the threat for them, basically. They're saying it, but they're examples for, you know, what the threat is behind them. So it's like, you know, they're like a chihuahua while, you know, it's like a chihuahua leading like a pack of wolves or something. It's kind of a weird analogy, but I mean, it kind of is the case. I mean, all in all, I do feel like that a conflict like this would probably just really radicalize a lot of, you know, people on the left when it comes to things like labor and anti-war positions and shit. I mean, there already has kind of been somewhat of an exacerbation to this already as it is, but I think people are kind of looking at like, oh shit, you know, is this actually kicking off or not? You know, it's like kind of people are, it seems like they're just not too sure right now. Some random shit's going on, but not really too much else. Those look off. Sweet little boy. I love the prospects of fucking war, right? Ugh, amazing. Amazing. Honestly, part of me is kind of wondering if, like, if things were kind of the other direction, if, like, you know, Russia or some other, you know, like, or, you know, some other adjacent quote-unquote Axis power were attached, like, kind of like occupy U.S. territories or some shit. Because considering the Pacific Northwest, outside of Alaska, that'd kind of be like numero uno to be occupied. If it came to Russia, at least for like U.S. side of things. And it just kind of makes me think about that situation. Like, what would happen with something like that? because another, you know, I know when it comes to an occupation, it probably doesn't behoove Russia to know that pretty much like within every blade of grass there's pretty much like a rifle, at least when it comes to the US. So like I'm sure they know that. So I kind of wonder what, you know, their idea or like their doctrine going into it would be. Would they try to have like a sense of leniency, or would they just be, you know, very heavily strict and like when it comes to like imprisonments and shit? Like that would be kind of my wonder. It's like, alright, all citizens must, you know, turn in their guns immediately. It's like, well, time for me to find the mountains. Time for me to, like, hit the hills now. It's like, yeah, nope. I mean, I guess that'd be like, you know, one sense. Like, alright, all American citizens to ensure the minimalization of rebellion. It's like, no. All's love when it comes to war, and I don't play sides. It's like if like it was like a U.S. occupational force being like that, like recaptures it, and it's like, all right, we don't want citizens, you know, joining on the conflict, so, you know, everyone's standing down. It's like, no, fuck you. It's like it's just like I, you know, stand for my own little community around here, and I ain't gonna let like some fucking military thug on whatever side they're on and shit, you know, say whatever otherwise. So fuck off. At least, no, obviously the US side wouldn't be fucking shooting their own citizens. I'll just tell them go fuck off and just, you know, get the other people off. Get them to go away. Because I ain't done nothing to them, but if there, you know, but if there is like an occupational thing, it's like I ain't necessarily gonna just be complacent about it. Because honestly, I guarantee you they're going to probably be fucking with, you know, like the citizens in the community around here, and that's what I fucking care about. Like, I give a fuck if, you know, like, if they're just basically being, like, you know, their own, you know, like... Oh, wait, please. That's why the U.S. already shoots some system. Well... I mean U.S. troops in, like, actual active combat. Like, not, you know, like, on a front line. Not, like, the fucking cops. Like, yeah, the cops are a different thing. Like, I mean, you know, I'm not talking about, like, cops here. I could give a fuck about them either. I mean, I guess, ostensibly, they'd probably be on the side of, yeah, no occupational military forces, you know, like, coming in here and shit. So I guess on that element, I'm okay. But, like, no, like, you know, fuck off, too. Like, they can't tell me to fucking be like, hey, the law still applies. It's like, there's like a fucking war going on. You think, like, the stability of laws still apply right now? Like, give me a break. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like a, you know, squad of Rushies or whatever, fucking, you know, trying to, like, kick down people's homes and shit, and I'm not necessarily fond of that. I wouldn't be fond of that if it was like any other fucking people either, regardless of Russia or not, but... It's like, yeah, that wouldn't necessarily fly with me. So... So if cops are like, hey, we'll handle this, it's like, this is my community. And frankly, y'all don't really do much of a good job anyway. Well, side of, we're bootlickers and you're bootlickers, so let's make this work. Yeah. If anything, they would be collaborators. So if anything, just fuck them. I wouldn't trust them. I don't trust them now, and I won't trust them then. Like, unless they're actually, like, shooting at them or something like that, and they're actually, like, having, like, an active combat with, you know, back and forth with, like a Russian battalion storming down fucking homes or some shit or whatever the fuck, then okay. But I'm highly doubting that. Maybe some departments out there might actually have that mentality about it, but probably not. It's like, well, you know, let us be your kind of police state and we'll handle it. Wink. Honestly, the PPB probably won't because of, like, fucking Proud Boys and shit like that, so they might actually, you know, be a little bit of their own fucking, like, vigilante organization, fucking, that's hyper, like, nationalistic, that probably will think, like, Antifa's are collaborators, so they'll probably just be, like, their own fucking, like, just fractured partisan group, just, like, fucking Roman Portland all of a sudden. It's like, oh god, now there's, like, a minor faction that just the cops have, like, amalgamated into. It's like, oh god. That would happen. Because when it comes to wars and shit, like, miniature factions, like, partisans of all sorts of ideological groups, like, the Spanish Civil War is a great example of it. Like, I mean, there would be all sorts of fucking, you know, organizations and groups, you know, that have, like, you know, are favorable to one side or the other, or their own side and don't pick a side, you know, type of shit. Like, that, especially in US, that would be all over the place. Like, they'd be taking advantage of that type of shit. The PPB would be busy defending their homes in Clark County. Well, if they're collaborators with the, you know, with any occupying force, then maybe not. But honestly, that's kind of why I've always been in favor, just for literally any circumstance, having like a bug out idea for just being off in the mountains or some shit. Because something like that were to happen, you know, if all else fails, it's like, alright, mountains it is. Because, I mean, at least, you know, with enough, like, food and especially for, you know, some basic, you know-how hunting and shit like that, I mean, you know, you can fare, you know, for a decent amount of time on your own if you know what you're doing. I mean, I'm not saying I know fucking everything or some shit, but, like, when it comes to, like, the basics of, you know, being on your own out camping and shit like that, like, I know some, you know, some things, you know, but, again, I'm not, like, some know-it-all or, like, an expert or some shit, so. Steal Harley's Thunderbird and flee to the mountains. I want to take Harley's Thunderbird. I get, well, first of all, I'm getting, like, it wouldn't just be me, by the way. Don't think I'm leaving anyone out. Like, I'd be getting the group, you know, obviously, you know, and whoever else we can get from there, whatever vehicles and whatever supplies and food, etc. And I know you won't like it, but yes, guns. I'm sorry, it's war. Like, you're probably legit gonna fucking need those. And, you know, and yeah, and just bug out. And just kind of hold out and just, you know, avoid the conflict, basically. You know, and use the guns for hunting, and if, you know, people show up and shit, especially if they're, like, you know, the quote-unquote enemy forces or whatever, then, yeah, that's it. We might have to defend ourselves. Unless they pass by and don't notice. Or just, you know, sneakily move on or some shit, you know, but, yeah. I mean, when it comes to shit like that, it's gonna be, you know, like, kind of fly-by-the-ear type of shit, and, you know, probably having people doing patrols to make sure, you know, knowing what's going on. I'm fighting the occupying force. Well, it's, you know, I mean, that's what I'd be doing, but I wouldn't necessarily be doing it from my house. I mean, I'm going to be doing it where, you know, if I, you know, go back to, you know, like a FOB, it's not going to be my house, because then they can just find me. Like, no. Like, I'm going to, you know, be in hiding. That's kind of the point. Like, I mean, if you're fighting the occupying force, you know, you don't want to necessarily do it from the comfort of your home, you know, going back to your bed at night. You're going to want to find somewhere else, because if they are able to ID you and know where you live, they're just going to find you there, or just wait for you the next time you're at, you know, come back. Fatmar City. Well, not saying that I, you know, like I said, I wouldn't be, you know, against that. Like, I'd be doing that too. I mean, don't get me wrong. But you definitely want to have, like, a reserve line to where, you know, you're at least going to be able to safely rest and re-equip and shit like that, you know, without necessarily having the threat of, like, you know, suddenly out of nowhere, like a fucking gunship coming in out of nowhere. Or an APC rolling up and shit. I suppose depending on, you know, I mean, Portland has, you know, all those fucking, you know, towering buildings, so I guess, you know, one of them can be occupied on a very high floor, and as long as you're away from the windows, I mean, yeah, you know, you could probably hide out in there and no one would notice. So, I mean, urban fighting is convenient like that, like, honestly, but that's why, you know, like, room-to-room house fighting and shit, it's also very fucking brutal, because, like, you don't know who's in what room. But yeah, like, nonetheless, I mean, I'd be doing the same. I'd probably be off in, like, the West Hills, hiding off in, you know, like, one of the major parks, and, you know, having, like, you know, like a little hidden little camp out spot or some shit, or maybe off in, like, you know, the east somewhere, and then, you know, have easy accessibility to go into town and shit, you know, to where I can, you know, work in with, like, the line, the front from there. Have communications established as well that aren't necessarily phones either. You would probably want things like ham radios and shit. So they don't necessarily overtly track you either via like GPS and shit. Like if things are going to be going down like that, I wouldn't be having my phone anywhere. I wouldn't be taking it with me for anything. Not even, you know, to document shit. If I'm documenting shit, I'm taking like a fucking phone that doesn't have my SIM card in it. One that's not functional, but I can record videos and shit nonetheless. I'd probably just take a GoPro at that point. Have like a little GoPro mounted to my firearm or some shit, you know, to let that be my documentation of what happens. I mean, honestly, it's kind of fucking nuts, especially for Pacific Northwesterners, do legit have to consider this right now. Despite the fact that none of this shit has anything to do with us. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be happy about fucking, you know, fighting off a Russian or some shit, because I don't, you know, like, why, like, what has that motherfucker ever done to me? And what has that motherfucker ever, you know, done to just go be plopped out in the middle of fucking Oregon? You know, be deployed out here, so it's just like, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be taking any, like, glee out of it or anything. But nonetheless, it's just like, still. That's why I support decentralization. Yeah. I mean, and, I mean, really. Because, like, again, you know, eschewing this type of fucking, you know, electoralism and shit, and getting away from this massive fucking grip that this, you know, parasitical fucking country is right now, is really the legit best course of action. Independent Cascade, yeah. I mean, I know I have this flag up here kind of as like a little bit of a meme because I like the Kaiserreich alternative like history mod for Hearts of Iron 4. But there's legit kind of a reason for me having it back there because I like the concept and idea of what that is. The Combined Syndicates of America is basically like, you know, if like the radicals of the 1910s and shit, like, you know, Mother Jones, fucking Bill Hayward, Eugene Debs, Jack Reed, you know, basically got even more radical and basically broke away from the Union and founded their own one big union. Like the capital of the Combined Syndicates of America is Chicago, and there's a reason for it. At least in the lore, you know, for the fucking alternative history. Because back in the day, you know, Chicago was such a bustling fucking, you know, hub for labor, just not just in the country, but even globally, you know, for a time. Especially during like the Haymarket Affair, during like the late 1800s, there was like immigrants from all over Europe and shit that, you know, not even just Europe too, but, you know, from all over that were there, you know, when that shit was going down. On top of just, you know, your average American that was living there too. Or moved there from wherever the fuck they used to initially live. Like Lucy Parsons was, you know, born in the fucking South into fucking slavery. And fled their, and her mother and her fucking fled their slave masters and shit. And eventually moved to Chicago after a while. So it's just like, I mean, you have Americans from all over the world or not, oh my god, all over the country. And you got, you know, immigrants from all over the world that were, you know, were there at the time because of how much of a global hub it was for this shit. I mean, so it's just like, I mean, yeah, like, I mean, this type of idea kind of needs to be revived again. It doesn't necessarily, you know, have to be this specific thing, and it doesn't necessarily have to be revived in Chicago, wherever the fuck, but, like, that just broader idea and concept just kind of needs to be revived again. And at Independent Cascadia, I'm like that. I'm definitely fucking, you know, down with it, because it's something that, you know, would, you know, be kind of a, you know, fraction for it, and knowing a lot of, you know, advocates for Cascadia shit, there's not just a very strong environmental bent towards it, but there's also a labor bent too. And a very pro-intersectional overlap when it comes to the indigenous and different minority groups as well. So, I mean, it hits all the metrics for, you know, a very kind of a strong, robust society moving forward when it comes to these type of issues. Obviously, at least in concept. I knew that super lit. Fuck that old Walmart book. Lol. I'm thinking in the meantime I should probably maybe get a laptop, because, you know, I might not be able to necessarily do, like, too much gaming at least, but I can at least, you know, maybe do some of the video shit that I've been wanting to do at the meantime. Plus I can at least, you know, reboot the whole studio streaming system too up a little bit, you know, my room and shit. I have to, like, really reorganize my room though before I really set that part up though. I will have to admit that. Sleepy little boy. Oh, so cute. Let's see what else random's going on YouTube. Pretty much talk like 2 straight hours of fucking leg labor and shit, so it's like, oh, substantive and productive nonetheless. And then, you know, at least, you know, the fucking, like, Ukrainian-Russian conflict too. It's like, ugh, God. See what other random shit's on tube. Wait, what the fuck is this? Huh? How Florida's don't say gay bill would be catastrophic. Wait, what? Don't say gay bill? Huh? It would be catastrophic for the LGBT plus youth. It's probably gonna be real loud. No
So
mic.
we've talked about
Okay.
before how since conservatives don't actually have a policy or economic agenda for their constituents, the way that they basically throw red meat to their insane base is to perpetuate this endless culture war where they use marginalized communities as their political football. And in this instance, at least in Florida, they're using LGBTQ children as their political football. Now, I'm sure that you've heard about the Don't Say Gay bill that has been proposed in Florida,
No.
and you
First
might
time I'm
think
hearing
this is
it.
an issue of censorship, and you'd be
Okay, Republican panel advances bill to ban LGBT plus discussion in schools. What? Oh my god. How do you even enforce that?
issue of censorship, but the
How do you, you can't fucking, like, I mean, I guess you could try, but it's gonna be futile. Like, you can't just, like, you can't enforce that. What?
are much, much worse than just teachers being censored here. As Brooke Migden of The Hill reports, a Florida House committee on Thursday passed a bill seeking to ban discussions of sexuality and gender identity in school classrooms, which LGBTQ plus advocates say will effectively erase LGBTQ plus history, culture, and students. The Parental Rights and Education Bill, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill, passed Thursday in the House Education and Employment Committee, largely along party lines. The bill is about defending the most awesome responsibility a person can have, being a parent. Florida State Representative
How? This, oh my god, I hate this. Oh my god, my brain's about to start melting. Oh my god. Oh my god. This isn't, like... Oh my god. Is this supposed to be, like, some way to be like, hey, you know, it's actually the parents' job to talk about it, and if they want to, you know, basically say it's the dirty fucking gays and shit, that's, you know, parents' prerogative, and if not, that's also their like, I mean, it's not like the like, yeah, it's the responsibility for the fucking parent, you know, be teaching their kids some shit, yes, of course, duh, but, like, I mean, when it comes to, like, you know, school environments, like, there's not, like, what's the problem with fucking having these discussions there, too? Like, it's not the point of school. Like, it's to get an education and have, you know, discussions and, you know, try to advance your critical thinking skills amongst other things. Like, huh? You can't even enforce this shit. Like, it's like, oh, well, you know, hey, like, we're gonna ban any groups or discussions. Like, even if you do, those groups are still gonna meet. They can just meet outside of school. Like, some of these groups do anyway. Like, sometimes, like, you know, I used to go to, like, you know, different, like, GSA, like Gay Straight Alliance clubs and shit like that, like, where, you know, sometimes they'd meet outside of school grounds and shit, you know, sometimes they would meet on school grounds, like, a lot of these groups are just not even doing it on school grounds and shit, they just go elsewhere. Like, you can't enforce this shit, like, give me a break. So stupid.
Thursday. That job can only be given to you by above. Harding's bill, along with its companion...
By above? What? The Almighty Lord could give you that job as a bird.
Tuesday by Florida State Representative Dennis Baxley would block teachers in Florida from talking about LGBTQ plus topics that are not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. According to the bill, parents may take legal action against their child's school district and be awarded damages if they believe any of its policies infringe on their fundamental right to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children. Now, this stems from the ignorant belief that kids won't be gay if they just aren't taught to be gay. So if you can successfully hide...
or just not talking about it, I guess, which...
Gay people...
I mean, again, by the way, this doesn't work at all. Like, you can't change the fact that someone's gay or not, or someone's bi, or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, it makes literally no sense. It's like, what? I mean, bro. Florida, you realize that, you can't just not teach to gay in people. Like, people are just, like, they're either gay or they're not. I mean, like, come on, this is just so stupid. Like, are we serious? I mean, if it wasn't for the M&M's fiasco, man, if it wasn't for that, I feel like I'd be looking into this like, oh my god, this is like the most stupidest thing I've heard this month. You know, when it comes to their culture war shit right now. But, no, that M&M's thing happened, so I can't even say that. It's like, god damn it. That's so stupid. You can't even enforce this. Like, I guess you could try to, like, fucking punish schools or, like, have, like, some sort of campus cop or some shit. ACAB. But, you know, be like, fucking, like, hey, you know, we're gonna patrol and make sure there's no gay groups fucking meeting or some shit. Like, what? I mean, you could try, but again, it's gonna be so futile. Like, I mean, you can just be like, hey, we're just like a D&D group or some shit. Like, I mean, you could just be like, yo, we're just some other club, bro. We're not you know, specifically an LGBT club. We're like, I don't know, like a fucking anime club or some shit. Like, I don't know. Like, what? Just because we all happen to be, like, you know, straight, gay, bi, and whatever the fuck else in between? Like, what? You think we're, you know, LGBT plus group? What? What? You know what? You got a problem? Fuck you. Like, I mean, they can, you know, they can just, like, fucking, there's no way to enforce this. It's so stupid. Oh my god, I can't believe this is a thing.
Then congratulations, you raised a straight kid. Except it doesn't work that way. If it did, I certainly would have been straight because I was raised, for lack of a better word, to be heterosexual. My parents never said, here are your options, Mike. You can be gay or you can be straight. Never happened. It's almost like this is all instinctive and you either are gay or you aren't. But these dipshits think that you can actually condition a child to be what they naturally are not.
I mean, I guess you could try, but that'd basically be psychological torture. And that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. That's a no-no.
So ridiculous and immature, and by now I thought that we've moved past this as a society, but Florida always ceases to surprise me in some way, usually for the worst. But think about this here, how this could unnecessarily penalize a teacher. So let's say that a teacher in Florida is complying with the law, perhaps they agree with the law, but during sex ed class, if Florida even teaches that, they might be abstinence only, I genuinely don't know, but let's say, for purposes of this hypothetical, that a Florida teacher is teaching their students sex ed. Well, what if one of the students who might be LGBTQ+, talks about same-sex attractions that they're feeling, or maybe issues with their gender identity, and this teacher doesn't agree with any of that, they're anti-LGBTQ, but they still just talk to the kid about this. If in any way they affirm that LGBTQ+ identity that child may or may not have, a parent can sue them because of this fucking bill. Is that not insane? Do they not?
So basically it just gives, like, carte blanche, you know, for parents to be like, hey, you know, we could just, like, sue even on the suspicion if you're talking about the, like, oh my god. Wait, parents are too fucking entitled in this country, I swear to god.
Could backfire. And on top of that, this is a free speech issue, censoring the existence of LGBTQ people, telling teachers what they can and can't say. I mean, I understand that states are in
it's like, I don't like my child being taught about the LGBT queer nonsense bullshit. I don't like it. Boo. It's like, oh my god. Like, honestly, parents... My parents feel like too fucking entitled in this country, I swear to god. Where it's like, oh, I know what, you know, it's like, you know, society can't tell, you know, what, you know, my kid can't do and can't be taught and blah, blah. It's like, oh my god, shut up. It's like, yeah, maybe there are some things that your kids should be, you know, be learning and being taught and shit, and your personal fifis aren't gonna get in the way of that, so, weh. Honestly, just like some parents just probably shouldn't be parents in the fucking first place, and yet they feel hyper entitled to have the little spawn and shit. It's like, oh my god. It's like, give me a break. It's like, ugh, breeders. Look at this look off. Look at this wee baby. Oh, who's a sweet little boy. You're just so soft. You're just a little softball. Just a sweet little softball he is. Oh shit, Channel 5 News released a new video. Complexicon, wait, what? What is it? ComplexCon, what? Oh my god, it's like 30 fucking minutes. What is this? Whoa.
and survive. I love the fact that like a lot of up and coming brands can connect with established brands and then sell products and pay their phone bill.
Okay, what about the culture?
Love the culture. The culture is the culture. The culture runs the world right now.
I feel like you are the culture.
In some ways.
What?
But being humble is also extremely the move right now. It bit me in the ass previously when I haven't been as humble, so I'm gonna just humble it.
This guy's green.
How? People get intimidated by confidence and success. So help people and be humble, and then you'll survive this crazy world that is life.
What?
I love the awkward silence. If when you get interviewed by a wavy production crew like yourself, you lot create a lot of awkward silences, so it exposes the real personality of individuals. I love that shit.
He loves that shit? Whoa.
Lamborghini lifestyle, baby.
Money talk, baby.
The homie Kanye just left.
You know
Oh
what it is,
shit.
Drake.
That's Aubrey to me. I'm on some Lamborghini shit.
Lamborghini, bitch.
With the Lamborghini Taurus on a green whip. People say we would have.
That is a very green Lamborghini.
$20 of reparation.
Whoa.
Uhuru Lamborghini, baby. Goddamn, boy.
What?
Say goddamn, boy.
Goddamn, boy.
Goddamn, boy. That line long, boy.
Goddamn boy.
Shit, boy. I went inside, right? Goddamn got me an awful lot of that right there, right? Okay, got that on, right? And I put that on top of the, yeah. So I was in there showing them all my spectacular drip.
What's he saying?
They call my cellular device. So, man.
Cellular device?
Say less. So, you know, got the wristband for my mans and acquired that. Took that there.
What the
Make
fuck?
Sure, no man left behind. You feel me? Let go.
My boy's a real one, bro.
Whoa.
Damn, boy.
A fellow friend of yours?
That's a trapper, that's not my friend. Trappers are not friends, they're associates and business partners. Okay, and sometimes co-defendants, but not if you're doing it right. Friends go funny, a trapper, he about that money. Goddamn, boy, shit.
What are you gonna do when you get back inside?
Give me some food and
Give me some food.
Cause you look hungry.
You look hungry, damn.
Goddamn, about to make them see.
This guy's fucking vibing.
On deck. Wave check, take your hat off, let me see your waves. He ain't got none.
He ain't got none.
Wave check. You hear that? That's
Waves?
the sword.
What?
That's like white noise right there. Like,
You don't even have waves. You just have like a little shortcut fro, bro.
whatever that shit is, that acronym, y'all know
That's
what it is. I don't know.
waves kind of require long lengths of hair. What is this guy doing?
LA shirt, bargain bin.
What is he
these are like 10 years old from.
What is he wearing?
And these are from
What is
LA.
that? He's wearing like a fest hat and
My
what?
Survivor Man, spelled like server, SERVIVER, an Anon artist that's doing some NFT stuff.
What's the most you ever made off an NFT?
I have a V friend that I bought on the first day.
Oh my
so
god, he's one of these.
like
He's one of these
you know,
stupid fucking
How
NFT
much
bros.
was that?
Jesus Christ.
like $40,000.
That is what fucking NFTs do to you.
What the heck is an NFT?
So an NFT is a non-fungible token, and it's basically a fancy word for digital art. And digital art is changing now because
Oh my
you
God.
can actually own it, and it's all about being written onto the blockchain. And so now digital art can live on permanently, forever.
As to it, as to how's that different from before? Like what? It's always been on the internet forever. If it's been out, oh my god,
Nah,
whatever.
bro, last week the homie hit for like $1 million something on a day.
I guess it's like some weird ass like NFT convention. Oh my god.
Like the exact details of who he sent it or whatever, but yeah, he got $1 million for a dick pic NFT.
We're look.
Who purchased the NFT?
Just, I don't know, anonymous. You know what I mean? Maybe it is. I don't know. He probably do know. For $1 million, you gotta know. So you know what I mean?
NFTs and Gary V counting cheese.
One of those Gary V simps. So
Good
gross.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Channel 5 Action News. We're here right now live at the Complex Con in Long Beach, California. We're going to talk to some artists, influencers, leaders, followers, networkers, marketers, rappers, fashion designers, fashion purchasers, producers, engineers to figure out what the hell's going on and what's so complex about this con. Come on, guys. Let's go.
I was on No Jumper for fucking...
Yeah, like, what's going on with
50
this?
guys in one night. 500 total in my lifetime. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, can you tell us your name and what you're doing now?
What's that flag? It's censored.
And I am trying to pay rent by advertising my OnlyFans. You know, if you're comfortable selling your assets just like everything else, if you have those assets, sell it.
How'd you get started doing fence?
I used to have this slave in college that would like let me put stuff in his dick hole.
How much?
It was 300.
No!
But it was more of like an experience, so I just felt like this is my calling during COVID. You should do it. You should try it.
Ah!
Yeah, you probably look good. Okay, maybe naked. What if you did that?
Maybe naked. Oh my god, she was just like, you know, you probably will. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. You're actually. What the fuck? What?
Yeah, That could be kinky.
But only for Patreon.
I'll subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, why can't sluts go to low?
Hey, yo, check.
I mean, true. I like her vibe.
I'm over here at Complex Con. I'm barely alive.
I'm not about that sounding shit she was doing though.
Trying to strive and prosper like ASAP. Where that AIDS at? I'm doing No Nut November right now though. I was watching breastfeeding videos on YouTube. That's how bad it's gotten.
How come you're doing?
Bro. Why do people do this to themselves? Just fucking, just do the nut, bro.
It's a big time suck, you know, cause like you're trying to figure out what video to watch, and then 4 hours later, 100 tabs open. You're like, all right. I used to be really strong.
All right, what?
But somewhere along the way, I kind of started slipping. I remember back in the day when I was at my horniest, I left like Friday night church service, like the middle of worship. I went to the.
Oh my God, this guy is sad. I'm sorry. Wow.
Toilet seat down.
My name is Tevin.
What the fuck, dude? What a sad individual, bro. Bailey twins? Oh shit.
What's the biggest difference between y'all? Taste and female. I'm more on the thicker side, I would say, and he's more on the petite or slim thick.
Slim thick.
I might throw it back. I've seen him do a lot with some thickness.
What's up, dude?
What's good, G? How are you doing? This is my twin Tevin right here. All right.
Are they wearing 7-Eleven shirts?
He just left me over there, guys.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I don't know what's going on. Mad gummies. What are we talking about here? Hold on, man. Stay in your interview.
No shit, they're having a fight? Whoa.
Alright, anyway, so I don't know what you were doing. But anyway, I was saying, so before you come out,
Oh my God, this is confusing. They are literally identical.
I'm gonna get the high tops tomorrow, so hopefully it's even crazier. The ones with the teeth. 4 eyes, teeth, nose.
I don't actually know what you're talking about, but I hope you get the high tops.
This right here, I would wear. And now I'm 25, and I still wear this. That's creativity. When I first saw it, my childhood came back to me, you know? So I'm a kid again, you know? Yes, sir, yes, sir.
What does it mean to drip?
This right here, you see that?
What is drip?
The work uniform, right? But would you wear this to work? Or the way the whole style, the vibe of it all, would you show it to work like this?
It is a work shirt. What the fuck? Dude, it is a 7-Eleven shirt. I called it. It is. What the fuck? They're like both of those dudes, like the Bailey twins, are just like, yeah, we're in our fucking like 7-Eleven work drip, bro. Yeah, we're just rocking it, bro. No fucks given. Like, I guess they're strangely like the working class vibe folks, I guess. I don't even know what's going on with this guy.
Everything that's going on.
He's wearing like a blazer that's like sponsored by all sorts of corporations or something. What's going on here? What the? Oh my God.
Is all planned.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Have a good one, dude. Thank you.
My wife.
So what? Sit on my. What?
Can you tell us about your face mask?
She got it for me, and
Based.
yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I got 2 masks today, but this one's getting more.
Do men like it more than the girls do?
Why'd you get that for him?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
You're not really doing this
True.
enough. Like, I'm gonna get this for you so that every time you see yourself in the mirror, you're like thinking about the fact that you need to do that more often.
No, I'm like, he's so good at it. I'm like, I want everyone to like try it. Like, go. Like I say, baby, go.
Oh my gosh, it's like, yo, you need to try, you know, sitting on his face. Like, go forth. Blossom, my younglings.
You know, I give it TLC, you know, that tender loving care.
What's a tender loving care? I love this guy.
Passion. Yeah, no, I say that's my passion. Yeah, that's good. I always say, come sit on my face, baby.
I see you also have an interesting shirt.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's that?
This is some Russian lady. Yeah, she paints like erotic watercolors.
Sit on my face!
How do you feel?
What the fuck is up? Sit on my face!
How do you feel about eating pussy?
What? Dude, you're laughing. Sit on my face!
I think that maybe he saw your mask.
I think he was very interested and very much an advocate for sitting on one's face.
That, you know, maybe he could be one of the people that.
I mean, if he has a pussy, yeah. But my passion is pussy, not pussy eating, not ass eating or whatever the fuck he has. I don't know.
Whatever the fuck he has, I don't know.
Any names?
What the fuck?
You want one?
Sure.
Nate Dogg.
Like, everyone here is horned up. Like, what is this con? Complex con of why we're all horned up? Like, what? This convention has still not been explained to me, but I enjoy the vibe of it.
What are you talking?
Like 150.
How much are the Kerwin shoes?
I think like 180.
So you gotta get 30 more bucks?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan?
Try to get 30 more bucks.
You have any strategy?
Not really.
What's your cash app?
I don't have one. I have Venmo though.
What grade are you in?
12.
You almost made it.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking you're gonna go to college or what?
I'm gonna do a gap year.
You gonna go to Europe?
No.
Thailand?
No.
You get an apartment in downtown LA and just smoke hella weed?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this kid, bro.
Sure.
What's your budget for an apartment?
I don't know.
Okay, man. Well, you have a bright future.
Oh yeah, he definitely has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, so Silky basically is a part of our brand. It is basically an emotional support companion almost.
So they come in like different ages?
Wait, what?
Ages, sizes, skin color, different tones, different flavors.
Wait, what?
Different genitals.
Silkies? What?
He, she, they, their, because we're also going to be doing ones that are in wheelchairs, small people. We're doing animals. We're doing a whole Silky universe. It is actually an emotional companion. It's an emotional spirit. It's there to actually uplift your emotional intelligence. Yeah, really and truly. We're making history in her story.
So you have like what? So you're making like plushies that are I don't even, okay, whoa, that just kind of like flashed before my eyes. This is like intense. What is this? What's
going on right here?
Yeah, what's going on?
We got a rainbow. We got a creature.
A creature? Yes. Pointed observations.
Back here.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling really loved right here.
Well, you are very loved right here.
I would not be consenting to that. That guy is creepy. No, I am not consenting to that.
Would you get in a creature suit if I have a whole creature suit?
Yeah, I would do that.
No. Oh god.
I got too much fucking shit on.
Oh my god, he's
I'm a Silky now.
You're a Silky?
Yes.
You're just a blue monster. That's what you are.
I'm here to fuck Silkies.
I have an inquiry. When you use the bathroom, are your bowels blue?
Nah.
Nah.
What's up? What's your name?
Kevin Bradford.
That guy is tall. Holy shit.
Promoting Father Steve.
Okay, what's he do?
We're selling loot boxes. We have mice. We have
Loot boxes?
the trading card game. We have everything here. I saw like this weird stand with like dinosaurs with like butterflies on it. I thought it was kind of weird, but I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was weird. I absolutely love it here. Seeing all the brands, taking pictures with people, promoting myself too.
Sounds like you're going up. Your clout's going up.
I actually was on a documentary called Tallest Teens, and
wait, what?
I'm 7'2". I'm the Guinness
Oh my god, look at him. He's huge.
record holder for tallest teenager in 2016.
What if you
Damn.
dream of slam dunking as a pro?
Damn.
I believe that I have the potential to be in the NBA.
Could be over if you continue to grow.
I actually have back problems because I'm this height. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, like being so tall, yeah, you would have back problems.
I'm trying to stay as far away from that as possible. That's just not my style.
But did you know if you like make the basket, like you'll make like 20K?
20K?
He's like, huh? Maybe I should go back into that,
I'm feeling kind of nervous.
I believe in you, bro. I think you're gonna do great.
I don't know. I'm wearing a suit, so I can't really extend my arms that far, so I don't know. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
No. Damn.
Thank you. They gave me toilet paper to wipe my ass.
Yo, so
They gave toilet paper as a complimentary prize.
Cannot be written by nobody.
Participatory free is your toilet paper.
Nor anybody. It's just for show.
My mama always told me about that water. And I said, okay, ma.
I'm kind of liking the vibe of this place, but at the same time, I would not find myself being here.
I ain't never noticed I was going to keep.
Hey, what are you in line for right now?
In line? I believe Mac DeMarco.
The Mac DeMarco is performing in this cardboard castle?
I don't have no idea. That's what I was told, so that's what I'm doing.
What?
Not.
And we'll see what happens, honestly.
See what happens.
I'm Joe.
You come out here for this?
Yeah, pretty much. Me and the homie did.
Oh, nice. Oh, man. How you doing?
Joe's homie.
I was doing pretty solid in class, and then after the switch to online, I feel like it's just harder and different.
You're not cheating?
I mean, the normal amount, like on homework.
It's on homework. Is that Mike DeMarco?
I've been doing this for about like, 12 years now. So I feel a bit old. I feel a bit like an uncle now, you know what I'm saying? Feels good. It's also a bit depressing. I'm a lot older than I used to be. But also younger than I will be soon.
Huh?
That's why I love Maximus. He's so philosophical.
That didn't make sense. I'm gonna be younger than I used to be.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
I think that was just random flowery words to sound like you're pontificating.
Let it go. Let it go.
Chill. Oh. No. It's not that vibe.
It's not that vibe? How's it not that vibe?
Hey, what's up, Kerwin?
Whoa, what is this?
Pretty good. I'm sorry about earlier. How you doing, though?
I'm actually doing great. I found this job on Craigslist. Keep it 100 with you.
On Craigslist? What is he even doing?
But I'm grateful for the opportunity. This suit is hot as fuck. Jesus walked on water so I could drip on you niggas. Watch on water, watch me drip, pussy nigga. Jesus walked on water so I could
What the fuck?
man, watch out all the time. Shout out to Five.
We innovators. We start stuff. We don't follow.
What is his hairstyle? What is...
I don't know a company called Fuck You Want right now.
Oh my god. Man, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't be a part of this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe I would actually avoid this 10-foot pole. What is going on here?
I don't give a fuck about the cloud, everything we're doing, I'm living it. That's it. Hey, yo, have you seen this hair design everywhere? Have you seen it on the internet, though?
It's...
Ask everybody where they got that shit from. Tell them where it started. They're gonna look at me, you heard?
It's like, it started with me, it's like, oh my god, dude. Man, the amount of ego. Oh my god, he has it too. Holy shit. Man, the amount of ego that's like oozing out of this place. It's like ego competition or something. And then you got like some people that are trying to like look like they're ego eliminators to try to balance it out or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I had a TikTok that blew up about my hair, and he's like, "Oh, this kid's a pussy." No way. I was like, I don't know. He's hard. They don't own that shit, but yeah, no, it's hard. My friend called me the albino Dennis Rodman.
And you ball?
Not really.
I'm working on a basketball court in St. Louis.
Oh, for real? Oh, I love basketball. That's a sick shirt. Where'd you get it from?
My friend Austin. Ass Pizza. Ass Pizza? Yo, yeah. Ass Pizza. He's dope. The brand name is Ass Pizza. I think like he just put
Ass
together some
Pizza?
shit like that, right? So, do you like Ass Pizza?
Ass Pizza?
You give him a shout out.
Shout out Ass Pizza.
Who's Ass Pizza?
I don't know.
You just.
Oh my god, this, I actually, is that an actual tat? Oh my god. What in the, what do people like, why do people do like some of the hairstyles they do? And why that tat though? Like, why those tats? I mean, whatever, but like.
Ass Pizza.
That's just my Instagram name that I had for a long time, and now I'm just stuck with it for life. I don't like to associate it with pizza or ass.
You don't like pizza?
Pizza's delicious.
Do you like ass?
Yeah, I love ass.
Can you tell us about your face tattoo?
You know, one day I just said, fuck it, man, I'm gonna get the face tat. I didn't really think about it. I was at a point where I was just like,
Evidently,
you know?
we obviously could tell.
And it just like, didn't feel part of this world, so I was like, I'll just get a face tat, you know? And I told my mom that it was temporary.
The craziest thing I ever done was not
Temporary.
Do you have a child? I'm about to.
Woo! Congratulations. That's hard, bro.
I go by Holy Barber. If anybody wants to follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't tell you.
Holy Barber?
Fucking face that, you know? It's just like, I feel like nowadays, like, you can still get a job and shit, you know? Like, I feel like no one actually really fucking cares about it, so. Alright, yeah. We gotta handle something later, but, it's fine.
What's going on?
just this guy talking shit, man. You know, I deal with haters every day, but it just, fuck it. I understand, bro, you know? I know that I started a lot of this shit, you know? But I'm just a humble, nice guy, you know? I really don't give a fuck about it.
I mean, I guess you see, what in the fuck is going on here? There's like police lights in the background. This is some meet and greet? Oh my sweet god. I mean, I guess he seems like an okay dude, but like, man, like, I probably would have thought a little more about the face tats at least. Straight, oh my, oh sweet Jesus. What in the fuck?
A lot of kids here that are just sort of like willing to sacrifice themselves and everyone around them to get close to people like you. How does that make you feel?
It's just like, you know, once you get here, man, it's like, that's it, you know? It's not what you think, man. You know, I just like cool shit, man, and it's like, I feel like I know what's cool, you know? So it's like what I want to see. Me and my friends, you know, I'm very grateful to have all my friends who also, like, you know, are on the same wavelength, you know? Like, I fuck with real shit, but I feel like everything is just so fake and, like, generic, and, like, they're just trying to market this shit to, like, you know, I don't know, just some fake bullshit, man.
I guess I don't disagree.
Kerwin shit and Steve shit, you know, everything else, they're trying to make a quick...
I mean, I guess he doesn't disagree. He just executed it in a very different way.
At what point do you think a brand goes from being like authentic and cool to like corny? Like, what is that turnover point?
It all just comes when, like, you stop thinking about, like, what you want to bring into the world instead of, like, oh, what's going to make the money, you know? If you're, like, making sick shit, like, the money's going to come no matter what, so it's, like, you can't stress over it, you know? I don't know, I just feel like people try way too hard and they just want fast shit, they're not thinking long term, you know? They're like, oh, what's popping now? Let's copy this guy and then sell this, blah, blah, blah. It'll run you straight to the ground, man.
Has anybody ever offered you like a major brand deal, like a Zoomies mall style thing?
Yeah, there was, you know, a lot of shoe brands wanting to work with me and shit. It's just like, first of all, there's always one person who's scared and nervous and doesn't understand it, so I can't fully do what I want. I don't know.
I kind of actually like what he's talking about a little bit.
Shit, trying to work with people. And what I really want to show to kids is that, like, you don't...
I actually like this guy. I just like it, this interview's happening while he's casually just getting the barber shop, you know, like trim, dude.
If you come out with something like
He's getting the fade while he's having this interview.
Actually, successful companies, successful media companies, successful clothing companies copying your exact style.
Yeah, I see a lot of people copying me, you know, I just keep my mouth shut because it's like, that's my goal. I'm really trying to just inspire people, so fuck it, it's gonna happen, you know? And it's like, once you start calling people out, you just look like a loser, so I know my influence, so I'm gonna just keep going and just like, you know, I must be on some shit, so everyone's copying me, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
People are gonna copy you.
I honestly don't disagree with what he's been saying.
Loser shit. I peep it, bro. I know who's copying you. They're trying to exploit New York. Fuck them, bro. Fuck them.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, bro. We don't even gotta say their name.
How did you react when you first saw someone just copying your shit?
You know, it's cool. It's cool. We're influencers, man.
We're influencers, bro.
That's what we get free shit for, man. Free sandwiches, right?
That's why we get free sandwiches. Lions don't concern themselves with,
You gotta wake up and stay hungry like a fucking tiger every day, bro.
An army of sheep led by a lion will destroy an army of lions led by a sheep. The leader is the most important thing.
Damn.
Stealing your haircut style.
Shit. That's, you know, it's, I actually want to hear that again. Whoa.
Led by a lion will destroy an army of lions led by a sheep. The leader is the most important thing.
How do you feel about people stealing your haircut style?
You know, honestly, that's kind of an interesting object lesson towards, you know, kind of like some of the stuff that was happening from earlier with that, like, Fox News Reddit shit from, you know, earlier from the stream. Like, even if you have nothing but mere, like, you know, sheepened sense of strength, you know, backing you, if you have, like, a line that, you know, leads and shit, that's, you know, I guess in a sense able to use his strengths and powers to overcome, you know, like one sheep that's, you know, leading a bunch of lions, and, you know, they're making it, you know, work in the sense of, in the favor of, you know, the army of sheep, technically.
As long as I do my best, that's what matters.
Tommy Wright III, 10 wanted me into the world end. Street Smart, a lot of power. Dabba Don Tom, internet icon.
I can see why it kind of lasted a while there, because honestly, that interview was actually pretty cool.
Old music, you talk a lot about the devil and Satan. How many people were like really worshiping the devil associated with Memphis music at that time?
It's like a lot of, it's not devil worshiping, but it's a lot of evil shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of evil spirits, cutthroat city, cutthroat mentality.
Whoa.
That's what Memphis is about.
How did Memphis change like from that old school style to what it is now? Because if you think about like Memphis new artists, right, like Push Shiesty and LA Choppa, it's more like Atlanta sound, like modern trap. Like when did the like 3-6 Tommy Wright shit kind of like transition?
A little bit after the 2000s. It's kind of when Atlanta started to, you know, mimic our sound. You know, a lot of shit started to change. And then our city just tried to be more, you know, universal with their sound.
You had that crazy peak in the 90s, but now it seems like you're...
I mean, isn't that like how it just influenced the
you have
music
more fans than of all time.
works?
How did that happen? Like, how did you pop off like 10 or 15 years after the songs first came out?
Let's say what it is, man.
Tim, looked like they were popping there and that.
And new rappers wanting to sample.
Like your shows in New Orleans is like 150 skaters, all that shit, like moshing. Did you ever imagine when you first made those songs back in the day that
You know, I never thought that. But you know what? Gangsta Walk.
I mean, honestly, I mean, the music that must be popping, must be pretty lit and shit if, people are moshing, because, I like music that ends up, unleashing out a mosh, because I like me a good mosh.
And that's what we do, because we got that same energy, that same shit, that same pushing. We did that shit without a skateboard.
My name's Guapdad 4000, I'm a fan of yours. We just watched
So,
some shit
whoa.
that you did.
Guapdad, what the
Jason
fuck?
was in it. I was on my
What is
ass
this hat?
the whole time.
He's QAnon.
You niggas is hilarious. And this suit is crazy. Do you wear a bad suit on purpose?
Yeah.
What?
Where you get it from?
Goodwill.
I figured.
Goodwill?
Watch out for mothballs, man.
Mothballs?
Mm-hmm. They be using them in Goodwill, for real. Yeah.
Why is it dangerous to have mothballs in your clothes?
I said just watch out for them. I didn't necessarily merit any danger. I'm sorry if you felt that from my tone, King.
What the fuck?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry if you felt that from my tone, King. What the fuck?
Cops today?
What did I actually spend money on? Oh, I bought some shoes.
I like your music.
A lot of people here buy shoes.
I like your music. I like
What's
your
with people's
confidence.
fan?
I like
I don't
your
know.
creativity without the music. I follow your stuff. It's ill.
What's your name, dog?
Kosher Dills.
Tight.
I'm running a marathon.
That.
Oh, that's why you got the whole shit going on. Well, is it a purpose?
I'm coming off of a big run off of rapping with Fat Joe in a rainstorm, and I felt that
Oh,
internet.
nigga, I've been seeing you. I've been seeing you. I damn
What the
Nigga, you still got the umbrella? Well, that's kind of weird.
That's kind of weird.
Fox rapping.
I can't get over his hat. I like the guy's hat.
Hands on my finger, channel 5. Do you know my rap flow? Do you know why I'm holding umbrella? It's me mimicking what happened last week at MSG with Fat Joe. I was rapping in a rainstorm. He's like, hey, bro, can I rap with you? I'm like, okay, dog, but you need an umbrella because you don't want to get real wet. I used to have hair on my head. It was impossible. Back in the day,
The rhymes kind of fell off.
follicles. I do it on the fast track. Right through the past track. And other people say, yeah, what's the cash?
Okay,
app?
now you're
Send
just
money
now you're
Don't
rapping the
act so
same
funny
things.
now. And Channel 5, I hope you guys like my fucking style. And if you don't have any money to borrow, send a cash.
Nah, honestly, the Fortnite kid. I'm forgetting his name right off the top of my head, but like, I mean, he honestly has a far better flow, bro. Sorry.
See you guys tomorrow.
Cash App, the best subject to incorporate into your freestyle rhyme scheme to impress people who went to the Complex Con a few months ago. Use code Channel5 for a free $15 for new users.
I have my
Hey.
AirPods. I'm gonna listen to your music while I run. Put you on my marathon playlist.
Thank you.
How many miles is the total marathon?
26.2.
Why would but you still ain't said why.
I think you need to have certain different kinds of music. Like in the beginning, you don't want to be too
Talk
gassed.
about music. Why if you running for 26 miles, nigga?
I love running, man. It's like a journey in life.
Oh my god, I love this guy, dude. I love him and his hat. I love him. He's just like, why are you running for 26 miles, bro? Like, what? I just gotta get out again. It's with his hat, it makes it so
You need
goofy.
to have certain different kinds of music. Like in the beginning, you don't want to be too gassed
Not
up.
about music. Why is you running for 26 miles, nigga?
I love running.
Oh my god.
Need more, really.
A little bit excessive. Channel 5, love y'all.
I love you too, bro. Dude, I love that guy. Dude, I love him and his hat.
4 years?
Guap Dad 4000, bro. He's great.
Old friends, been a minute.
Dude, I hope we see more of him one day out of Channel 5. Dude, that guy is amazing.
We go way back with a guy named Tom Catchinson.
Tom Catchinson?
Yes.
Me and Tom Catchison played on the high school soccer team. As I think we went to Edison High School together and Herbert Hoover Middle School.
Me and Tom, we went to a rock concert.
311.
Yeah, 311.
Remember Amber? Amber is the color of your inner dream.
The earth isn't flat, but it's hollow. And inside the hollow earth, there's like giant octopus.
Whoa! Whoa! What? Whoa! Hold up! Hold up!
Amber is the color of your inner dream.
The earth isn't flat, but it's hollow. And inside the hollow earth, there's like giant octopus. I believe that there's water above and below us, and it's giant.
Whoa, wait, oh my god, wait, above us too? Wait, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. So there's a hollow earth where there's water beneath, where there's like a giant octopus, and there's water. Wow, that is a lot to absorb all at once. Whoa.
I believe in that shit.
How'd you learn about the octopus in the earth?
I was on acid one day, and I thought about it.
Well, that explains it.
Like, if you watch The Matrix, the robots is octopus. And then I is more water than anything.
Oh, man.
We get in touch with the octopuses.
You just gotta use your third eye. And meditate.
Basically drop a lot of fucking acid.
I tell everybody, don't get the vaccine.
Because it makes it harder to talk to the octopus?
Good one.
Good one. Oh my god. Oh man, I kind of want to. Man, I want to hear more about that guy, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, dude, I love Channel 5. Man, that. Dude, the giant octopus, bro. And of course, the person's anti-vax. Of course. I'm not surprised whatsoever. Ay, ay, ay. Dios mío, dude. Oh, yeah, I've got a little mama. That's real quick. Oh, wait, no. No. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. The hollow earth of a giant octopus, dude. Like, what the fuck? It's like, okay then. Zuko fountain down outside. Zuko! Hi, buddy boy. Hey, come here. Come here, boy. Come here. Zuko. Come up here. Oh, hi, buddy boy. Oh. Well, howdy do. Oh my goodness, hello. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, how you doing, you little foof? Oh, look at all this fluff. Ooh. The fluff. Oh. Got so much neck fluff. Oh my goodness. I just realized there's probably going to be a shitty ball of insanity when summer hits with all the sickness. And that's going to be ridiculous. We're going to be insane with all the sickness. Oh. Oh my goodness, look at your baby. Who's this sweet boy? Who's this sweet baby? You're so ridiculous. Here. I think I'll give you a little tweet. Well, excuse-moi, Francois. What the oh, patience. Patience, sir. Let me close the door real quick. No. There we go. Chilly. Oh my god, I must say, having this new chair is absolutely phenomenal. But I'm going to take off one pillow. Let's see if that helps. Oh yeah, that's actually way better. Oh my goodness. Ooh, nice. Actually, fucking so much better. Just kind of laying back and stretch too. Oh my god. Man. Finally, like. This new chair. Oh my god, nice. Oh, amazing. Zogov, what you doing, boy? What you doing, little buddy boy? So what else is going on tube-wise and shit? Yeah, I pretty much kind of discussed all the different little fun shit I was talking about for today, Nero. Oh shit, there's a new Pessimist Productions affiliate video I didn't even see it. Fighting Boys. Wait, what? Which one is this? Vegemite versus Marmite, which is grosser? Are they secretly good? Oh my god. Vegemite and Marmite. Oh. I draw Marmite specifically because of DFF, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's been proven indisputably that TJ is stronger than Scott. TJ's ability to eat rancid food and not react at all is impressive. Oh my god, okay, what? I've never had any of this. Vegemite, Marmite, or Marmite, or whatever. Ugh.
Acid flavor. I was thinking it almost tastes like rotten fish.
What?
So, I've got
Oh my god, this guy's first reaction was said it all.
Vegemite yeast extract, very popular, I think, in Australia. Although also very divisive, I think, in Australia and worldwide. Well, no, the world has pretty much decided we don't want this.
Sucks,
but in Australia, there's like contentious debate. Scotty, what do you have?
What? I have Marmite, which is, they like to brag, rich in B vitamins and a vegan spread. So if you're vegan,
yeah, you can still have
you can have it. Okay, now we're gonna kind of open this up. So,
oh,
really like viscous looking, almost looks like an oil slick. If you can kind of see in there, it's like
looks like tar.
yeah.
here. You can see it better when you like
dip it in.
Get the spoon.
Dude.
Oh, that looks like some fucking like liquidy tar. Oh my god. I actually am repulsed. I'm like immediately repulsed by this. Oh my god.
Shit,
Yeah,
dude.
it does very tarry.
Yeah, it does.
Here, you get the spoon. I'm gonna use a little knife.
see.
Australia.
This one is
eating, like, stuff
this
that
one's
kills.
not quite as this doesn't have the same texture at all. This is way more like a butter. It does not melt at the same. It's like this is way more of a creamy, but it doesn't really look creamy so much as it's just like terrifyingly thick.
Oh God, that this.
You might be wondering what these products are. I know they're made from yeast, and I know they're popular as breakfast items spread on toast, which is, I got a piece of toast here, and we're doing that exactly right now. I'm spreading on one piece for myself. I'm spreading on one piece for Scotty.
Oh.
And we're gonna see which of these two products,
if they're even different,
is better, or if there even is a difference worth talking about,
that say
or if they're
there's
even
no difference.
edible.
Even edible.
Good? Are they bad? Is this thing got a bad rap? I can tell you this.
I wish I was eating Nutella right now,
From
dude.
like, it does have, that one has a very Nutella sort of texture. From a smell perspective, I have to say the smell I would not say is like completely unpleasant, but it's definitely not something that I like having in my nostrils. Yeah.
It smells worse to me.
The Vegemite definitely does smell worse than the
Here.
Marmite.
Ugh.
I have smelled the Marmite. I actually have tasted a small bit of the Marmite already, so I kind of have an idea what I'm in for.
Oh boy.
So you want to do the Vegemite first, or well, the Vegemite I think might be worse. So maybe we'll do the Marmite.
Here's the Marmite. So take a Marmite, give me a.
We'll pass the Vegemites out in a second. Let's yeah. All right. Boom.
Cheers.
Right, how bad could it be, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh! He just has a I know, oh man, ooh, I'm feeling it. I can feel it. I'm feeling that. I felt that. TJ's just like, meh, whatever, and he is just, oh man, I'm feeling.
It is it's salty. Oh my God! What the f am I eating? It's awful.
Please fucking spit.
Freedom water, don't fail me now.
Freedom water.
I have to say I don't hate it. It's very salty.
Oh
but
my
to me it
God,
kind of
that just
refreshing sort of like
Oh.
pungentness, bitter. It kind of reminds me of a super salty version of like a black licorice, maybe.
Ew.
Or like a very strong jerky. It kind of, even though it's not meat, it kind of has a very meat-like taste.
Oh my God, I don't know if I want that.
I think that people call that umami? Umami flavor? I don't know. I'm not a flavor guy, but
it's awful, dude.
That looked awful.
I'm not even like
at least a flavor word guy.
Dude, I'm not even someone like that would you
Was that the Marmite?
Like you don't even have to play it up. It's like disgusting in every sort of way possible. It's like bitter, but then like just like you dumped a gallon of salt into my mouth. It's like the texture is not appealing at all. It's like I said, it's viscous like oil where it's like your tongue gets stuck to it and you're like a dying mammoth. Like, please let me out.
Dying mammoth.
Like, Mama, please come home. Please. And it's like, oh no, I'm stuck here. I have to do this for a video, so I'm gonna keep eating it. So I would. There's no way I would ever eat again.
I gotta say, I don't hate it. I don't think I would eat it. But as far as it goes, I'm not like revolted by it like Scotty is.
That's
Oh my God.
Scott, would you give it on like a scale from 1 to 10?
1.
I give it like a 3.
No, 1. That's not any kayfabe or making it up or playing it up. Like,
honestly,
I
I
generally
could
don't like
see-
it.
I hear that a lot of people use this stuff in recipes, and I can see how diluted down the flavor could actually complement a lot of different dishes. So,
I mean, I could see that at least. Like, I mean, but straight up as like a toast and just eating it as is. Oh God, dude, no
actually
way.
look into some recipes for it, because
Make
I
me
don't
some Marmite chicken, TJ.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that might sound
But,
good.
I'm dreading now. I'm 100%.
Little palate cleanse. This is a coffee, so it's not the best palate cleanser in the world.
Well, I got my freedom water right there, so.
I'm not afraid of water, brother.
So this is
Love it.
Vegemite. I can tell you right now, the texture is. By the way, we're serving these on pieces of white bread that have been toasted. So there's there's really no like there's no way the flavor of the bread is playing any sort of real factor here. It's white bread. It's cheap white bread.
It is a vessel.
It is but a vessel
To
to
deliver.
deliver this.
A vessel to deliver.
So
A
Vegemite,
flavorless, bland-ass bread.
Oh yeah, here you go. You know, Scotty, why don't you eat it first? Because you're probably having a more entertaining reaction on this one.
I really don't want to, dude.
Oh
You know
man.
that wasn't this used after like World War I or some shit? Or
That's an
two?
interesting
Because-
historical facts, guy.
Yeah, like
Why don't you just
because
go
like
ahead
they were out of like I don't know they were out of hops or yeast or whatever this was.
Yeah.
So like they had to make do with what they had, right? They had to. I'm just gonna do it. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
It has more of a rancid flavor.
Oh God.
I was thinking it almost tastes like rotten fish.
Oh man.
It really does feel like I put a rotten fish in my mouth and I'm chewing on its guts.
Ugh. I mean, how's DJ having a bland expression when he's describing that? Like, God, I would probably just like puke my I'd be puking so hard my stomach would revolt out of it, like out from my mouth. Like, oh God.
Is it even good? Oh, that's the Marmite. I have the Vegemite.
Vegemite. Oh my God.
Ugh.
Oh
Freedom
my.
water.
Freedom water, brother.
I don't even see an expiration or anything. I guess it's fine.
Ugh. Ugh.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's
that
like a
one,
traumatic experience. They're like, I'll have PTSD if people ever bring up Marmite or Vegemite. Like,
Oh my fucking God.
no. It's like rotten, pickled. Like I've had herring
Pickled?
before, like we went to the Netherlands from a
I don't. That should not be a description for something like this.
That was disgusting.
Oh.
Of all the foods I've had recently, this is probably the most disgusting shit I've ever had. Australia knows nothing about food. Anyone in Australia that claims anything about food should be shot on sight.
Oh my God.
Or at the very least, deported and sent back to where the fuck they came from. Because if they eat shit like this, they don't know what fucking food is. And I hope, like in their country, that there's actually a great debate over not whether this is good, but how they should try to conceal from the internet that people in this country ever ate this shit. It's awful. It has no taste, but besides just like revoltingly, disgustingly bad. It's like, but in a unique way. It's like they're both uniquely bad.
In a unique way? What?
I honestly must center not on whether it's good or not, or which one's better, but which one's worse.
I feel like Marmite is not too bad. The Vegemite, I can't really even. I mean, I don't know. It's like bitter. It was hard to even swallow. I would
Marmite
say,
is better. Like
Marmite.
I mean, if you like these kind of things, I would say Marmite is the better of the two things. But you know, neither of these things is great. And you know, maybe as an ingredient in something else, you could get away with the Marmite. But the Vegemite, I don't even see an application for it there. It's just garbage. It's like rancid flavor. It's not like if I was to eat that.
I feel I feel like this just revolting feeling in me now, just like realizing what like Vegemite is. Like, oh my God, oh man, I didn't even realize it was like what it really was, and now I'm like, nope. Like, oh,
Saturation, I thought maybe it was wrong.
Ugh.
It really tastes like a rotten food. Unpleasant. I would give it a 0. No redeeming character.
Don't you want some rotten fish cream cheese spread?
Yeah, it tastes. I mean,
Rotten
it literally made
cream
me feel
fish
like I was chewing
cheese
on a rancid
spread.
fish, and that's not a good
Oh.
thing. So I would say Marmite is definitely the least disgusting.
I mean, I guess you want to give
Oh.
anything. If I was like, someone held a gun to my head and said, choose which one you have to eat the entire contents of, I'm going with Marmite.
Yeah.
Marmite, winner!
More pleasant texture.
The Marmite.
Marmite, you are winner by virtue of not being quite as bad as Vegemite.
By not being as quite as
I don't like
bad.
Vegemite
Oh my
should be
God.
Probably deported, or at least deported from this planet. Maybe
Deported from the
one-way ticket.
Get Vegemite deported from the planet. Oh my God,
How dare
disgusting.
you like different food than I.
I mean, is that the spirit of the internet? Is that we should have differences, and the people that are different from us in some way should be completely destroyed.
Internet in a nutshell. Damn. Oh, dude, Vegemite. Oh God, that shit just sounds fucking putrefying. There's just no way in fucking hell I like. Oh, sweet Jesus. I might have fucking like Marmite maybe in a compliment in a dish, like, cause that actually doesn't seem like it would be that bad. I mean, considering the more like saltier, kind of oddly like meatier, jerkier style like flavor to it, I guess. Oh, but I don't know. Maybe if I'm feeling real experimental. Oh, God. Gross. Oof. Yeah, well, now, I felt like I just, like, witnessed a traumatic experience that now it's just, like, transferred to me a little bit. Like, like, I'm gonna be immediately, like, fervently repulsed by, like, any form of, like, mentioning of Vegemite. Like, ugh. Ugh. And I've had fucking, like, fermented shark before. But, man, that, I don't know, dude. I don't know, bro. As, like, as a spread? A spread? Nope. If you're just gonna give me that weird-ass rancid fish flavor and shit, just give me the fucking, like, fermented shark or something. It's like, oof. Joker, what you doing, boy? What you doing, you sweet baby? Oh, look at you. Getting a retreat. Once I just got. There we go. Oh my good lord. Hey, paw? Paw? Yeah, no, paw. Paw? No, you have to put it in my hand. Paw. Paw. Oh my fucking god. Paw. No, paw? Good boy. There we go. Jesus, mother. Fuck Christ. It's a sweet baby rays, bro. When I say paw, it doesn't paw like at me generally. It means my hand. Goof. Hey, what a goofball. Anyway, I think I'll get this lovely, delicioso little boy right here loaded up. I'll go ahead and get this little bad boy kind of little bath. Earlier today, I noticed you were really dusty. Like I was patting you and like you were just being a dusty boy. So I kind of want to wash some of that dish off, yo. And me too. Get you nice washed up. Get me nice washed up. Wish I could bring you to see my mom. I'm gonna try to see her tomorrow, but unfortunately, can't do that. They won't let you in. Which that sucks. But you just be baby in this. You just feel the baby in this. Yes, you is. Yeah. Why do you want to lick my hand? What the hell? You're so weird. You're just a little weirdo. Man, you're looking at my pants. Why? Would you stop with the pants licking? Wait, seriously, bro? Up? Come up here. Come on. Up. Come on. You baby. Oh. Oh. Oh, you boy. Oh, you're so sweet boy. You're a good boy. Mwah. Who's a sweet little boy? Who's just a dusty little boy? Are you just a dusty little boy? I think you're just a dusty little boy. Ugh. Look at you. Oh, you're just so handsome. Look at that face. You're gorgeous, handsome little face. Oi, just so pretty. Yes, you is. Oh, yes, you is. Look at you. Yeah, look at you, boy. You dork. You absurd little dork, you. Look at you. You got a sweet little fluffy bitty. Look at you, you handsome thing. You're a little dork. You're a dork. Oh, I accidentally poked your eye. Alright. Goofball. Goofball. Anyway. You're being a major little distraction. Look at you. Big distraction. I'll call it good for this little boy. Get this little fluffy dusty boy all cleaned up, because you definitely need it. You're just a dusty boy. Let me look at those little paws. Let me see how dusty these little paws are. Ugh. These are some dusty paws. These are some dusty boy paws right here. Oh. But anyway, I'll call it good for the rest of the little evening, as the usual routine precludes. But of course, yeah, I'll be right for the usual one.